Hunter School, An Jinhao smiled and said, "Are you not giving up yet?" The phone screen displayed victory, and An Jinhao laughed as he said, "I was holding back just now, intentionally losing. It was actually very difficult." Suddenly, a hand reached out and patted An Jinhao's shoulder. He Yingxi appeared behind him, while An Jinhao was playing with his phone. His head suddenly received a heavy blow, causing him to cry out in pain. He Yingxi crossed her arms and asked, "What are you doing? The awakening exam is right before our eyes, and you actually have the thought to play games?" An Junha rubbed his head and replied, "I just got tired from studying, so I'm taking a little rest. I'm already 18 years old. Even if you awaken now, it would at most be a level 1 or 2. It's too late now, for a genius like you who awakened the 5th star at 16. How could you understand this pain?" An Junha leaned close and said, "So, I've decided not to work hard anymore and will rely on you to live a carefree life from now on." He Yunhee grabbed his collar and shouted angrily, "Who gave you the right to cling to me?" He Yungxi tugged An Jinhao through the crowd, and passers-by students all turned to look. "Isn't that He Yungxi, the girl? Looks like she's back for special training," a passerby sighed. At 16, awakening a 5-star profession is sheer genius. Nobody here can compete with her. She's not only pretty, but from a good family. It really makes people jealous. The passerby was already pointing at the side and asking, "Who is the man by her side?" A passerby mocked and said, "Don't you know An Junhao? He's famous in school as a waste. Nearly 20 years old, still hasn't awakened." Another passerby asked curiously, "Then why does He Yingxi stay with such trash? They say they grew up together since childhood. I can hardly believe it. The little rascal from the orphanage can be so close to her." An Junha was dragged along by He Yingxi, emitting painful cries. This is a world where the game and reality blend together. Known as Blue Star, here people turn 16 years old and have the chance to awaken special abilities and become hunters. The examiner looked at the candidates and said, "Now I will begin explaining the exam rules. The next miracle awakening might belong to you." An Junha walked through the crowd. "He Yingxi, are you really this serious? I've already participated in 3 exams, not just any kind of." Voice of the unknowing. "Those truly standing in the awakened crystal hall, those whose names are called, please proceed to the measurement area for evaluation. Students who successfully awaken will receive basic equipment and prepare for practical tests." The students were whispering among themselves. "I want to awaken as a mage. I'll choose the power type. Melee professions have the most impact in combat. Or maybe the agility type. Healer is truly the ace." The examiner shouted loudly, "Next, 3rd grade class 2, An Junhao." An Junhao stepped forward and replied, while the surrounding students mocked him, "It is that legendary 3rd-year senior, An Junha, pushed through the crowd." Whispers could be heard around. "They say he chased after young He, still hasn't woken up yet. If we fail again this time, he is a total waste." You genuinely smiled and said, "Don't be tense, you're ready already. Let's start then." An Junhao walked up to the huge blue crystal. Gyujin said on the side, "Place your hand on the awakening crystal and take a deep breath." An Junhao extended his right hand, pressing it against the cold crystal surface. The crystal emitted a strong blue light, reflected in his pupils. An Junhao reached out to touch the crystal. His palm felt intense vibrations. Chiunjen gazed at the light. The crystal responded. This time, he might really awaken. If it's blue light, it means it's from the magic element. Students watching snickered. No one had high hopes for this ritual. Initial skills will be automatically learned. Next, An Junho held his breath. It's time to check the occupational star. Blinding light exploded in front of him. System panel appeared. 1-star awakening, obtain skill, find traps. An Juning stood there stunned. He expended so much effort awakening his profession, it turns out to be only 1 star. What should I do now? Chiuru stepped forward, truly looking at the disheartened youth. The surrounding students loudly mocked him. Still thinking there would be a great turn of events, just a 1-star result. Come back quickly, it's too embarrassing standing there. Are you really expecting some great career? Truly walking calmly, Junhao asked. Junhao, what skill did you awaken? He saw no reaction from the other party. He called out again. Junhao. An Junhao suddenly snapped back to his senses, responding somewhat flustered. Ah, yes. It seems the impact was great on him. Having failed all this while, finally managed to wake up successfully. But it's just 1-star result. Your true power, the staff said. This is your equipment. After changing clothes, go to the next stage. An Junha took the staff, looked down at the weapon in his hand. Didn't I just hear that correctly? Awakening complete. System activation conditions met. An Junhao reached out his hand, staring at the flickering light at the tip of his finger. System activation successful. Gained passive skill. Dark source. Gained mysterious gift. Dark source unaffected by dark powers. No cost required to use black magic. Mysterious gift, once a week. Not consume mana. Use dark magic. Darkness power. Isn't that the most evil force in the world? Dark magic. All top-tier spells. What's this got to do with me? You look for traps. For skills. Changes are happening. Changes? What does this mean? Changes complete. You look for traps. Fallen. An Junhao looks at the system prompt. Transformed into black magic, decaying shell. This feeling is really suspicious. Falling and dark magic sounds terrible. I still need to participate in practical testing, hoping nothing goes wrong. The awakened ones walk towards the portal. 50 people per group enter the underground dungeon. Get familiar with awakened skills in battle. Humiliation. The true passage was announced over the broadcast. No teaming up or attacking each other is allowed. Drones are closely monitoring. Do not try to cheat. Confirm your individual skills, except for me. No one else can see. Don't worry about leakage. Active skill, Corrupted Scabbard. Summon a world of darkness. Form a shield to destroy enemies. An Junha stared at the skill description. Black magic, right? No matter how I look at it, this feels very off. If this really is evil magic, once someone finds out, I'm in big trouble. Enter the dungeon. An Junhao followed the crowd towards the inferior type system glowing with violet light. System, explain yourself clearly. You damn system. Its meridian stepped into the portal. The strong light instantly swallowed its shadow. Leaves drifted in the forest. Silence returned to the surroundings. Battles rage in the forest. The candidates are fighting with their armed neighbors. An Junhao hides behind the bushes, observing the drones in the air. Drones monitor the entire examination area. I cannot use dark magic, but I don't have any other skills. Must I keep hiding forever? Looking for an opportunity, the examiner looked at the surveillance screen and said unhappily, other kids were hunting monsters. What is that guy doing? Chiwen looked at the screen and said, that student woke up too late, and his physical condition is also very weak. The only skill is defense. It's hard to hunt monsters alone. The examiner snorted and said, then there's no need to continue watching. Just kick him out directly. One who is fully awakened, he can't become a hunter anyway. The technician stared at the screen in shock and exclaimed, what's going on? The examiner didn't ask about it. What happened? The technician responded urgently. I'm not sure. The drone seems to have been attacked. The video signal just interrupted. The monitoring alarm suddenly sounded. Technician pointed at the screen and said, underground city detection shows energy far exceeding average levels. Examiner loudly ordered, go check it out immediately. See what's happening. Remnants of a broken drone emitting black smoke on the ground. The examiner looked at the data and exclaimed in surprise. Why is there a test site? Such a strong monster would appear. Young man crouching on the ground, goblin leader appears. Looking down at the prey in front of him, he spread his arms and said, come on, my brothers, the goblins. Stop being slaves. Listen to my call. Countless goblins emerge from the forest. The leader raises his claws and shouts, burial all invaders deep into the ground. Goblin army roared, waving weapons, charging forward. Drones hovered in the air, recording the horrific scene below. Green-skinned monsters swing, standing fist, shattering the drones in midair. Drones crashed to the ground. He fell heavily into the grass. An Junhao screamed, why did the drone fall down? How could there be so many monsters here? Why are there so many monsters? The one in the middle looks like a leader. The monsters came out from behind the trees. Show off your sharp steel claws and said, originally, there's a little mouse hiding here. An Junhao looked at the elite monster in front of him. Is there no drone around now? This is a good opportunity. Finally, I can test whether black magic is real or not. He extended his finger, point towards the sky. Humph! Magic instantly erupted. Open all eyes to the low goblins nearby. The hooded figure from afar. The monster turned its head around, revealing a golden tree trunk. An Junhao released purple energy. Giant skeletal monster crumbled in the dark aura. The monitor operator said urgently, report all screens lost signal. The underground city detected dark power. A monarch-level monster appeared for the 4th time. The examiner shouted loudly, request immediate reinforcements. Evacuate all non-combat personnel in the vicinity. Or, are you really looking at this screen and saying that? Sovereign-level monster, capable of leveling a city with one's own power. Stuff like this, how could it appear in the test field? The monster screamed in terror. How could it happen? A hole of decay. Such an evil incantation. Indeed, cannot be used recklessly. But the power to kill monsters is indeed astonishing. An Junhao looks at the purplish light on his fingertips. Is this the power of black magic? It's so nauseatingly sticky. System notification. Defeat the goblin soldier. Such overwhelming darkness. How could humans possibly control? An Junhao felt something strange in his body. How disgusting. His body no longer obeyed him completely. An Junhao kept advancing step by step. The goblin vanguard cried out in terror. Retreat, don't get any closer. System notification. You defeated the goblin vanguard. Gained 6,000 experience points. An Junhao looked at this system panel. It actually directly leveled up to level 10. Usual on-site testing. At most, it can rise 1 level. Ordinary small monsters hardly give any experience. It should be like just now. Continue hunting elite monsters. By the way, test site. Why? Elite monsters will appear. tree at its peak radiance, falling from the sky, surrounding Anjun's ship. Anjun's ship looks at the dropped items. Are those drops? There are actually 2 orange grades, permanent attribute bonus metal. This kind of thing really exists. Orange grade is epic level extremely rare. Although I can't use this Jihu, but its epic level should be able to fetch a good price at this rate. I can go crazy with upgrades. Finally got stronger. A loud broadcast came from the sky. All candidates immediately stop the exam. Use the scroll of teleportation. Evacuate. An Junhao daydreamed about the sky. An Junhao looked around. This place has turned into a wasteland. Is this the power of black magic? Pits are everywhere. A voice came from the broadcast. Repeat. All candidates immediately stop the exam. Use the teleport scroll. Evacuate. An Junhao crouched down. Unroll the scroll. If anyone sees us, we're dead. We have to leave immediately. The teleportation array emits strong light. The figure vanished from sight. The light of the teleportation array lit up. Students were sequentially teleported away. An Junhao half kneels in the array formation. As the beam returned to reality, the examiner waved and shouted, "The test is over. Everyone, go straight home." If the monarch and monster really appear, even if everyone even joined hands, it would be hard to win. Uncertain if the reserve army can arrive in time, he suddenly froze. What's going on? The source of that dark force has actually vanished in an instant. Could that thing have already escaped the test site? Chi Rogen pressed the earphone and said, "The situation has exceeded our handling range. Immediately report to headquarters. To avoid causing a panic, pretend you know nothing. Activate the school's sealed rune array. Leave only one exit. Let irrelevant personnel evacuate quickly." An Junhao looked at the chaotic scene. "Teacher, what's going on?" Chi Rogen turned and asked, "Young number, are you okay?" An Junhao scratched the back of his head, responded, "I'm fine." Chi Rogen said with a serious expression, "Then hurry up, leave here. Classes will be cancelled for now. There's no need to come back unless necessary." An Junhao walked on the road and asked, "Miss Chi Yugen just now was very cautious. Is something happening?" He Yongxi responded, "Heard that the test site found unknown origin power. The school seems to be going on a full shutdown." Unknown origin power? Does that mean the elite monster? He Yongxi looked at the deep test. He barely managed to awaken, but the test stopped halfway through. Junhao must be really upset now. He turned and said, "Defensive magic can save your life, but it's not suitable for solo hunting. Start acting with our guild tomorrow, okay?" An Junho waved to decline politely. "Thank you for the offer, but I'm still used to being alone. After all, I can't show my true self in front of others. Use dark magic freely." He Yushi looked at him suspiciously. He Yushi pointed at An Junhao and said, "Stop acting. You have no room to refuse me. No excuses allowed. Meet me at the West Gate tomorrow morning at 8. An Junhao called out hurriedly, "Wait a moment. Listen to me. I said one person should go. Are you deaf?" An Junhao held his head in agony and cried out in pain. "Hey, He Yushi, now everything is ruined. Do we tell him we have a stomachache tomorrow and skip the event? Then not participate? No way. With his personality, he would definitely forcibly drag me along. Ah, that plan might work, although I'm not sure if it will succeed." Central Exchange. An Junhao walked down the street. Some equipment comes with additional skills. If I could get one equipped with the trap detection skill you need. In case things go wrong, I can pretend. Your own skills are just about finding traps. You can't be serious that even the skills on equipment would be converted into black magic, right? By the way, welcome to our place. The staff greeted as they approached. "Welcome your patronage. What can I do for you today?" An Junhao responded. "I want to buy one with the traps you found. Equipment of skills, weapons or ornaments can both work." The staff turned on the light and said to him, "You must have just woken up not long ago. No need to buy such low-level magic. Follow me. I'll show you some truly useful." An Junhao, the white hand said, "That can wait a moment. I want something that can be used now. No need for high-level ones." The staff showed an impatient expression. "Hey, who will take over this guest? It's all for nothing, newcomer. You handle him, okay?" An Junhao stood there in shock. Yang Shuela walked up and said, "Hello, if you need anything, just ask me freely." An Junhao looked at Yang Shueya and said, "I'm just here to..." As he walked between the display cases, illuminating various weapons and equipment with his lighted gloves, An Junhao was wearing glowing wrist guards. He lifted the heavy battle hammer with one hand. He asked, showing off the ring on his left hand, "Do you like this ring?" An Junhao waved and greeted, "Yes, it's very beautiful. Thank you for your help. By the way, where can I sell hunting trophies?" Yang Shuela looked at him and responded, "Oh, do you want to sell the trophy? I'll lead the way for you." The two walked towards the consignment shop. Boss Wang sat behind the desk and said, "Come in." Yang Shuela led An Junhao into the house. "Boss, this guest wants to sell war trophies." An Junhao took out a golden saber, handed it to Wang. Boss asked, "It's this one. How much can it sell for?" Wang Boss took over the weapon, carefully examined its attributes and implementation level. Agility weapon has not high-grade requirements, and the attributes are also very good, very suitable for newbies. There are 3 slots left. You can adjust the attributes according to your needs, making him better suited for you. Mr. Wang put down his weapon and asked, "This is a good item. I have interested clients. How much do you want to sell it for?" An Junhao responded with a smile. The more the better, the higher the better. He turned his head towards Yang Shuela. Shuela, while I'm not around, you handle the front desk duties, Wang Boss said into the phone. Mr. Zhang, you wanted to buy good equipment for your son, right? We just happen to have a perfect item. An Junhao sat on the sofa. Yang Shuela served him tea. Wang Boss pushed open the door entering the room and said, the items were sold. The other party is willing to offer 50,000 crystals. A handling fee of 8% will be deducted. Your share is 46,000 crystals. An Junhao stood up in surprise. 50,000 crystals, so much. Mr. Wang continued to say, if you trade through our store, we'll directly transfer the money to An Junhao. An Junhao responded, how fast, I just happen to need some equipment, Wang Boss said with a smile. Then let me recommend a few items for you. A colleague looked at the staff who just left and asked, didn't you like handsome guys? Why did you let him go like that just now? The employee crossed his arms and said, I like mature and capable men. He's really too young. A colleague laughed in response. You are indeed honest. A colleague looked towards the end of the corridor. Isn't that the previous guest? He was just with Mr. Wang. Yang Shuela shows a puzzled expression. A colleague ran back after inquiring about the news. Hearing that the guest just sold equipment worth 10,000 gold stones, he is now going to buy new equipment. 10,000 gold stones? That's equivalent to 3 months bonus for us. You really got lucky. If I knew that beforehand, I would have taken that client. The staff are in crisis. That client was originally mine, my bonus. Yang Shuela looked at An Junhao and said, please go home safely. Next time come around, you can contact me directly, he added. Right, my name is Yang Shuela. The next day, An Junhao put on the adventurer's robe. Walking down the street whistling, he arrived at the wilderness, gathering energy in his hand. An Junhao looked at the ground cracks. He had tested the equipment's skills yesterday, not affected by the system. So there's no need to worry about his identity being exposed. He raised his hand and shouted, He Yunxi, finally found you. He Yunxi turned her head around. Many awakened gathered. Mage warrior. There's also the Berserker Platinum Edition. Ho Yinhui introduced An Junhao to the group. Let me introduce you to them. These are my union members. Pastor Zhu Dazhen smiled and greeted them. An Junhao responded politely in return. An Junhao felt a chill run down his spine. Why do they look at me as if I were their father's murderer? Zhao Chengshun looked at Ho Yunxi and asked, Ho Yunxi, your second transformation is about to happen, right? He nodded in response. Yeah. An Junhao showed a surprised expression. You can change your profession once every 30 levels. That means he's almost level 60. Not living up to its 5-star status would be a shame for a prodigy. Zhao Chengshun took out a potion and said, I want to give you a small gift. This is level 10's high-level speed potion. It can permanently boost attributes. Zhu Duizhen exclaimed, That's an advanced potion that can permanently boost attributes. Platinum replied, That's definitely outrageous. Zhao Chengshun said to the potion, Just 10,000 crystals, and this isn't about money. Stuff like this is almost never seen in the market. I had to pull a lot of strings, just got this bottle. Refused to say, I'll accept your kindness. Object, you'd better recover it back. Zhao Chengshun hurriedly advised, Just take it. This thing is extremely rare. They say you're about to apply soon. Isn't it a top-notch university? And Yuanyang turned away and left. It doesn't matter. We still have things to do. I'll just take my leave first. Zhao Chengshun pointed at An Junhao and said, Wait a moment. You're really going to waste your time helping this trash? With Yuanyang turning around and angrily rebuked Zhao Chengshun. Shut up, Zhao Chengshun sneered in response. What 1 star is trash? Isn't that the truth? In this life, he's destined to be at the bottom. Did I say something wrong? I'm just standing here. Why bother causing me trouble? More importantly, this guy. Who did it? Has your mind really gone crazy? I really want to drown him with dark magic. Zhu Duizhen pulled Zhao Chengshun and said, Chengshun, let's go. Zhao Chengshun let go and drank the equator. This doesn't concern you. Step down for me. He turned to look at An Junhao with mockery. That guy. His whole life couldn't afford a bottle of such potion. Don't be around Yunhe, it's embarrassing. Trash, get out quickly. An Junhao scratched his ear and responded, Heard it. Just 3-point attribute potion is also worth you showing off so loudly. Zhao Chengshun's forehead suddenly burst with shock. Roared aloud. Listen to this beggar. What are you talking about? Are you trying to die? The warrior next to him sneered. Since you're blowing so hard, strong, there must be something better on you. Zhao Chengshun echoed in agreement. Correct. If you can really produce it, I will kneel right here in front of you. Kneel down and beg for my forgiveness. Otherwise, kneel and apologize. It's you. An Junhao in his hand, ignite the flames, show a golden badge, then you'd better prepare to crawl. Hey Yongxi, this is a gift for you, Hey Yongxi said in surprise. Is that a Vanguard medal? It's actually epic tier, and there are permanent attribute bonuses too. I've never seen anything like this, Zhao Chengshun asked with a pale face. How could there be such a tool? Permanently increase attribute by 100 points. This is too outrageous. An Junhao reacted by overstepping. After trying it out, you'll know if it's outrageous or not. He Yunxi looked at the glowing crystal in her hand. But this is too precious. An Junhao smiled and replied, It doesn't matter, just that I found it at home. I was planning to give it to you anyway. Biejing Hao loudly urged, use it quickly. I can't wait to see the results. The surrounding crowd showed a crocodile-like expression. Zhu Duzhen excitedly cheered up. He Yushi crushed the crystal. Golden light surrounded his body. He Yushi felt the power within him, said in surprise. My attributes have really improved. Zhao Chengshun looked at An Jinhao and said, impossible. How could that waste have a rare item? It must have been stolen, right? An Jinhao scratched his ear and said, stop complaining over there. Quickly kneel down and bow your head. Shout loud enough for me to hear. My ears? It's not that easy. He Yongxi walked forward and said, dark magic energy surged throughout his body. An Junhao taunted, thanks to this performance, I'll go first. Look back and see Zhao Chengshun looks at the other party as they leave. He Yongxi walks beside him, speaking softly. I'm sorry. It's all because I insisted on acting together. An Jinghao responds with a white hand. It doesn't matter. You just want to help me. He turned his head, continuing to say, He Yongxi, you don't have to follow me all the time. If you're really worried about me, then go prepare for your advanced exam and get into a good university. Being by my side, I can't focus on practicing magic at all. He Yongxi responded rather urgently. Don't give up so quickly, An Junghao said. Who said I gave up? He Yongxi looked, said towards the front. Right, hold this. An Jinghao showed a puzzled expression. If I lose? Han Yushi passed over 2 glowing books. You can learn them later when your level increases. An Jinghao flipped through the pages and asked, all purple. These must be very expensive, right? He Yongxi smiled and responded. Along with the badge pen you gave me, these don't count for much. An Junghao, the official, said in the outer area of the Eerie Cemetery. Then I'll accept it. Outside the Eerie Cemetery, crows landed on the tombstones, cawing mournfully. A withered and frail talon break through the soil and emerge. The mourning zombie roared and charged forward. Blue sword light instantly erupted, piercing through the monster's body. Severed limbs scattered in midair. He Yongxi held the stone longbow, stood firm. An Jinghao sat on the ground, shouting, well done! This experience in a low-level dungeon is no longer useful to me. But I can't tell He Yushi I'm level 10 already. What should I do now? There must be a way. He Yushi answered the phone and asked, Hey, Zhu, Duizhen said on the phone. Yushi, I heard that boss, Fallen Wizard, is about to respawn soon. This is a rare opportunity, if you're interested. Zhu Duizhen asked, holding her phone. What do you think? Are you coming? Zhao Chengshun hugged his hands and responded, Of course I'm going. Without him, how do we kill the boss? Fallen Witch, demons will drop a lot of rare items. This is a big opportunity for me. He Yeshishi put down her phone. Look at An Junhao beside you. An Junhao sat on the ground and said, I'm fine, you go first. This dungeon will also refresh with a lich. I can level up by killing bosses. He Yongxi closed his eyes and said, Got it. Wait in the safe zone. An Junhao made an OK sign with his hand, smiled and responded, Okay. He Yongxi leaped towards the distance. An Junhao waved and shouted, Be careful of everything, Yongxi. You have to come back and save me. He turned around in anger and roared, Who allowed you to call me so intimately? An Junhao watched him go far away. Finally, I'm alone again. He showed a confident smile. Boss, right? Luckily, I came today. Recalling the scene from yesterday when I learned new skills, An Jinhao clenched his fist tightly. Thankfully, I learned 2 more skills yesterday. Since I can use each skill for free once a week, the more active skills, the better. Passive skill, Mystery Gift. Used once a week without consuming mana points.
Using all the black magic skills I've learned.
Sorry, the current level. Only 3 skill slots. Looks like I'll have to wait until level 15 before I can use the skill books from the Meteor Realm.
An Junho stretched lazily, looked at the system panel in front of him.
The 3 skill slots are already full. The rest remain locked. Misty Forest. Countless withered monsters wander on the desolate land. Giant skeleton warrior guards in the dark corner. The heavily armored warrior looks forward and says, The boss is in the tower at the center of the underground city. I will clear a path all the way through. This dungeon is very difficult. Everyone should be careful. Each monster is very dangerous. Suddenly, there's an explosion ahead. Intense flames erupt. The heavily armored warrior stopped and said, It seems there's a team in front of us. How did they get there so quickly? The companion behind me exclaimed, Isn't that the Purification Knowledge Guild's Yun Shu and Zhao Chengshun? They say they are among the top powerful individuals in the country. Those guys are indeed strong. Looks like we won't have a chance to challenge the leader anymore. Zhao Chengshun laughed wildly and shouted, The leader is mine! He spread his fingers wide. The palm gathered dazzling light. Such a half-assed squad doesn't even deserve to compete with me. A huge golden beam of light descended from the sky, instantly piercing through the battlefield. Zhu Duizhen watched the distant battle and asked, Did Yunxi become stronger? Bai Jinghao replied, His speed suddenly increased by 10 points. That's quite normal. In the deep, eerie graveyard, a tall tower stood in the darkness. Space rippled with purple waves. An Junhao emerged from the void. Not living up to its dark reputation, inheritance magic of the Dark Realm instantly arrived here. An Jinhao activated his skill book. Active skill, Darkened Sprint. Travel through space, enter the dark world, rapid movement. Destination duration, 1 hour. Black shadows emerged from the ground. Giant skeleton lords slowly rose from the darkness. An Junho waved and said, tired. It took me quite a while. The skull lord suddenly turned his head around. Blue flames descended from the sky, exploded violently on the ground. As the smoke cleared away, the giant skull lord appears. He looked down and said to those in front of him, proud adventurer, you dare to come here alone? An Junho stood in the shadow. Oh, that one. I don't plan on raiding the loot, Skeleton Lord asked in surprise. What? An Junho raised his arm high, activating his active skill, Fire Rain. This is a dark magic capable of summoning raging fire rain, dealing massive damage to a large area. Countless purple gemstones fall from the sky. Reduce everything to ashes. Purple light dissipates in the smoke. An Junho stands at the center of ruins. System panel continuously pops up with prompts. Successfully defeated corrupted necromancer. Gained 50,000 experience points. Golden light enveloped his entire body. Level indicator jumped to level 30. He clenched his fist. Excitedly said, Level 30, now! Finally, I can enter the first profession realm. Looking at the loot scattered on the ground, pendants and gems. You can keep them for personal use. Alas, these 2 skill books are not exclusive to mages, but they should fetch a good price when sold. An Junho, look at the spectral emblem in front of you. I will absorb this personally. Losing a bit life value also counts. System prompt sound starts detected. Special item, wizard emblem. During a job change can unlock hidden professions, ghost samurai, or obtain the god of all attributes prerequisite quest. An Junho revealed a smile. The probability of concealing one's profession is very low. Under normal circumstances, it would be fundamentally impossible to obtain. Later on, turns out this badge is actually the key to unlocking hidden professions. If I had to choose between the two, god of all attribute magic, it sounds cooler that way. Yunshi exclaimed, just now! What was that? I sensed a huge magical fluctuation. Zhao Changsun shouted loudly, stop, we need to retreat! Yunshi responded, but the boss hasn't! Zhao Changsun interrupted, don't die foolishly because of greed! Damn it, there's nothing! It was successful. Yunshi looked at her phone. She must warn An Junho quickly. The screen displayed, sorry, I have an urgent matter, I need to go first. An Junho arrived at the advanced hall, walked up the stairs alone. There was not a single person here. He looked around the vast, empty hall. Quiet. Su Yiyan pushed. Hello? Are you here for the vocational advancement task? An Junho replied. Yes, Su Yiyan responded. All right, first, register your information. Name, An Junho. Age, 18 years old. Occupation, 1 heart master. Su Yiyan looks at the screen. First advancement at 18 years old. First time advancing. He doesn't seem to be a genius. He stood up and said, the advancement in magic cultivation is over here. Follow me. An Junho crouched behind Su Yiyan, pointed towards the front and said, operate according to procedure. Just then, I'll wait for you outside, An Junho said in person. Thank you. Su Yiyan walked forward and asked, what happened? The investigator replied, the cause is still unclear, but estimated danger level is an S-rank king or higher. Su Yiyan didn't ask either. In 2 days, 2 monarch-level events occurred. The investigator nodded and said, yes, that's why high-level ones have already summoned the shadows. An Junho looks at the options in front of him. 2 options? Or, choose the god of all attributes magic as a preliminary task. System panel. A prompt pops up. Received a career advancement mission. Please confirm the relevant information again. Not worthy of its hidden profession. Triggered an S-rank mission. An Junho walked up the stairs. Only 3 full days are available. The receptionist waved and said, wish you a pleasant day. An Junho nodded in response. Thanks. He walked out of the gate. Lost in thought. And before that woman is different. The clothes are completely different too. At the same time, Su Yiyan arrived at the ruins of the abandoned site. Looking at the ruins before him, this is my first time seeing their shadows with my own eyes. Even their attire is completely different. The investigators counted on their fingers and said, their origins are different from ours. The existence of shadows is confidential. Speak carefully. It said that shadows consist of hidden professions capable of manipulating dark power, specialize in handling special missions. Su Yiyan observed the surroundings. Here lingers powerful dark force. Even though much has dissipated, the aura is still very thick. He frowned and said, that person, after destroying the underground city, disappeared. We couldn't find any clues. The investigator looked at the ground and said, recently, frequent reports have been coming in. An anomaly has appeared within the dungeon. This might be a sign of impending disaster. This incident might also be related to it. Although we cannot be certain yet, I will request reinforcements from headquarters. Even you, who are called Shadowstorm. Do you also find it headache-inducing? We are certain. Is this behind the scenes a monster? He paused and asked, are you implying there could be other possibilities? Su Yiyan, supporting her glasses, responded, "Are you doubting? Like me, a mutant. Could this event's culprit be someone like me?" The investigator said while lowering his head. "I'm very sorry. That's not what I meant. Human bodies are fragile, unable to bear the cost of dark power." The investigator spoke with a serious expression. "This means that there has been an occurrence of powerful monster. We don't know when the disaster will come, will descend." Su Yiyan nodded in response. "Correct. He might be hiding in some dark corner. It must be tracked down as soon as possible." An Junhao returned home, drew the curtains. Such a dim and narrow place truly made me feel safe. Leveling up to 30 added 4 skill slots. Let's start with the skills from the meteorite category first. Detection of skill. Arcane shield will be paired with dark magic. Rotten scabbard automatically fuses. An Junhao looks at the system panel in front of him. Passive skill obtained. Fallen blessing. Passive skill. Corrosive blessing activated. When attacked, automatically activates. Corrupted scabbard will absorb all damage, and after stopping the attack, auto-revive. Turned out I could use black magic, combined with lower-level spells, thus creating a brand new skill. Now, another defensive measure added. Ordinary attack. Can't even hurt me a bit. Let's see the effect of another skill book. Obtained passive skill. Earth purity. All earth attribute magic effects increased by 20%. All of these are fusion skills, so the skill slots are still empty. Should go to the trading post and buy a few more skill books. Central trading post. An Junhao walked into the main hall. The clerk recognized him. "It's the guest from last time." He approached and said, "Welcome to our place." An Junhao asked, "Hello, is Miss Shulala here?" The staff replied, "Miss Shulala is currently attending to other guests. I'll serve you today then." An Junhao turned and walked away, saying, "It's not necessary. I just want to browse casually." He actually turned me down. Or am I that kind of woman who can't compare to young Shulia? The staff chased up and said, "Mr. Junhao, this area. Actually, it's within my jurisdiction." Behind me came quick footsteps. Young Shuila gasped for breath as she shouted, "Mr. Junhao!" An Junhao stopped and asked, "Miss Shula, is your work already finished yet?" Young Shulai bent down and waved his hand, saying, "I wasn't working just now. I was having lunch. I heard you were here, so I rushed over immediately." An Junhao said to young Shulai, "Sorry for calling you out. Next time, I'll treat you to dinner." Young Shula smiled and replied, "It doesn't matter. You really don't have to be so polite." The clerk looked at the backs of the two people, truly driving me mad. An Junhao took out 2 skill books. "I want to sell these and buy some for mages." Old Boss Wong looked at the books on the table and said, "No problem. Sheila, please assist him." Young Sheila nodded and replied, "Okay." Old Boss Wong stared at An Junhao's figure. Last time he brought epic weapons. This time it's another purple rare skill book. Truly interesting. Should find someone to investigate him. An Junhao and Young Shir sat by the window continuing their conversation. An Junhao raised his hand and said, "The waiter settled the bill." Young Sheila replied, "It doesn't matter. I've already paid for it." An Junhao was somewhat surprised. "But I said this time I'll pay." Young Sheila smiled and said, "No need. I have a reason to pay. So you don't need to worry." "What's the reason?" "It's a secret. Hurry up and go," An Junhao said while standing by the roadside. "I'll give you a ride." Young Shui waved her hand to decline. "It's okay. I have to go somewhere else. Just take a taxi." An Junhing instructed, "Be careful on the road. Safe travels home." Young Shui pulled into the taxi. The driver asked, "Where are you going?" He looked out the window and replied. Young Shui pulled up a chair by the hospital bed. She was wiping her father's body. Thanks to Mr. An Junhao, he secured a generous bonus. "The hospital bills for this month are finally covered." He smiled. Tears glimmered in his eyes. Suddenly, the glass shattered. A huge impact sound echoed. The truck burst through the wall. Fragmented debris scattered everywhere. He turned his head in terror, seeing the horrific scene before him. Young Shuila looked out the window, exclaimed in surprise, "It's a monster!" Black cracks bloomed in the middle of the street. Shadows continuously poured out from it, congealed into a giant monster. The monster roared loudly, jumped up suddenly, heavily smashed into the car by the side of the road. The roof instantly dented. One hand pushed open the car door. Yang Shui fell out of the car, heavily landed on the ground. What exactly happened? How could there be monsters in the safe zone? He lifted his head in terror. A huge black monster is standing in front, looking down at him. Chu Kang-he walks towards the giant blue portal. A black aura swirls around the door. He stopped in his tracks, the corners of his mouth slightly raised. A violent explosion ripped through the air. The monster roared. Charge out from the flames. Su Yiyan stretched out her palm. Sweat beaded on her forehead. No effect, huh? He's just a 34-level mage. Completely unable to block the monster in front of him, the monster swung its massive paw. Swinging down with blood-colored red light, Su Yiyan screamed in terror. "Ah!" The investigator swung his giant sword, cutting the monster in front of him to pieces. Su Yiyan fell to the ground. The investigator asked anxiously, "Are you all right?" Su Yiyan holding the giant sword. "I'm fine," the investigator shouted. If you can still move, find a safe place first and hide. He looked around, his expression grave. Damn it! This place has already been corrupted. The underground city is starting to merge with reality. Things have never been this bad. A one-star hunter can't deal with monsters of this level. This means powerful monsters have already appeared. Disaster can strike at any moment. The investigator gritted his teeth and said, "That administrator was right. Could it be that Force Claw pierced through the air?" The investigator drew out a long sword. Meeting the impact, he swung to slash. The investigator looked at his opponent before asking, "Are humans?" "No, not at all. It's a mutant," Chu Kang-he said with a smile. "Mutant. Don't lump me in with those brats. I am the one chosen by dark forces." "The chosen one? I've never heard such a saying." The investigator's eyes widened. "It's not the time to dwell on this now." Chu Kang-he suddenly swung his sword and chopped down. Blue sword energy slices through the air, charging straight towards the opponent. The investigator was sent flying by the massive impact force. He slammed into the wall hard. "Damn it! At least it's a third transformation level power." Chu Kang-he pointed his finger at the ground. A black aura emerged around him. He said with a cold laugh, "This is my territory. A weakling like you, he is not even my opponent." A powerful punch hits Chu Kang-he's chest. Chu Kang-he swings his longsword, feeling the surging power within his body. "Right now, I can do anything. As long as I stand on this land, power will continuously surge forth." An icy voice comes from the void. "Pitiful humans, don't be too self-righteous." Chu Kang-he's face turned pale, instantly agree. "Sorry." Ermei continued to say, "The power you possess is all given by me." The space began to vibrate intensely. Black cracks spread in the air. "Without me, you're just a humble insect. Compared to other humans, there's no difference," the eardrum said with a low chuckle. "All the humans in this city devote all to, give me a world to rule. Prove to me that your existence still has value to me." Chu Kang-he helplessly kneeled on the ground. Chu Kang-he kneeled on the ground and said, "Orders are orders." An Junha pushed back the door curtain. From the restroom, he looks at the mess on the floor. "I just went to the restroom for a moment. What exactly happened here?" A fierce monster is standing among the corpses. The monster lets out a roar. Its eyes flash with red light. "Open the history," he suddenly laughs, rushes forward. An Junha stands quietly, watching the monster charge at him. The ground instantly cracks. The monster swings its power, generating a strong wind. Great hedge of thorns sprang up, splashing about in the air currents at any time. Additional skill, Wall of Thorns. An Junha looked at the floating book. A purple glow surrounds the body. Comfort, joy. This weapon cost a lot of money. I'm lucky. The additional unique skill just happens to enhance my earth element. Proficient. He walked towards the door, reached out, and pushed it open. Outside the door, completely sealed off by dense thorns, Chu Kang-he pressed the man with bloody face heavily against the rock wall. He turned his head, looked towards a distance, and said, "Look who it is. Another lucky little mouse has come." Giant claw attack. Phantom form shatters the air, charging straight ahead. An Junha stands still, quietly observing the enemy in front of him. "Ah, what on earth is that?" Chu Kang-he clamps his teeth tightly, revealing a look of disbelief. An Junha blocked the heavy machine with one hand. He emanated purple light all over his body. How could he possibly block my attack? The devil fixed its gaze on the front. This oppressive feeling is almost as terrifying as death. Still terrifying. Such a formidable dark power. This guy is just as dangerous as me, even more dangerous than me. This guy is no ordinary opponent. Do you plan to use black magic here? An Junha closed his eyes, opened his eyes. Purple pupils radiated coldness and blankness. An Junha hovered in midair. His body emitted strong light. Defense instantly shattered. Countless fragments pierced through the sky, falling towards the bustling street. Chu Kang-he exclaimed in shock. It broke. Chu Kang-he looked utterly terrified. "Uncle Master," the devil replied, "it was you who started the fight first. Solve it yourself." Monsters charged towards the portal and said, "We must go back right away. The door is about to close." Chu Kang-he exuded energy throughout his body. "What's wrong with my power? How come my strength has changed?" An Junha gazed ahead, the corners of his mouth slightly uplifted. Mutants awaken when those who obtain a hidden occupation in the darkness realm. An Junha stands in the purple light. They can control the darkness rift. Compared to ordinary hunters of the same rank, stronger. He held a long sword. Approach the enemy. If the mutant loses its dark shelter, Chu Kang-he fa chu can jiao. An Junha looks at the fallen Chu Kang-he. Truly a troublesome fellow. Fortunately, with the fallen blessing, focus fully on outputting. It's not time to relax now. Take the advantage before others arrive. Take away the loot. Leave this place. Abandoned building, lifeless. The masked woman looks into the distance. All the monsters have retreated. The invasion of the underground city has also stopped. Su Yiyan walked through the ruins. 2 destructive spells, along with a complete underground eruption, suddenly appeared, then quickly vanished. What exactly do the enemies want to do? She stopped in her steps and asked, "How is the situation in other areas?" The female police officer with a mask responded behind her. "Most places are fine, but the southern city squad, severe casualties. Currently still not clear about the specific extent. Su Yen furrowed her brow. Slightly urged, he said, South City, that is Zhu Kanghe and Master Responsible Area. We had better go check it out. Lead the way, sir. Crouching next to the corpse, someone took something from him. All the equipment? He stood up to look. Towards the distance, Su Yen shouted loudly. Don't move! Who are you? Yin Daoying looked back at the other person. Guide Young raised the token in his hand. Don't be nervous, I am Phantoms. Su Yen stepped forward and asked, Phantom, is that made up of all those non-official organization, huh? Lead the way, Ying responded. Correct. Su Yen continued to ask. He heard say you have been operating in the shadows. Come here. What is your purpose? Lead the way, sir. Looking at the distance and said, This guy used to be a member of the Phantom, but he betrayed the organization. He brought the underground city into the county town, assisted monsters in attacking the camp. Thanks to him, the camp was completely destroyed. The masked woman replied, Sounds like. And what happened here? Exactly the same. Su Yen asking the corpse, So, dungeon explosion stop. Is it because this guy is dead? Yin Daoying pointed towards the front, questioning the way. Did you two take care of him? Su Yen shaking his head in response. No, we don't know either. Yi Daoying looked at the corpse. This guy is very cunning. As soon as circumstances turn unfavorable, he would hide in the underground city. I have tried to hunt him down many times, but each time he managed to escape. Su Yen fell into deep thought. Zhu Kanghe. It is a third-level awakener, his team. Almost the entire army was wiped out, but someone, not only did you kill him, still stopped the eruption of the underground city. This city? Is there really someone that strong? Su Yen looked at the side and asked, Where do you want to go? Ying Daoying's head didn't turn back as she replied, I need to find something. At An Junhao's home. An Junhao excitedly swung his fist. He said that guy actually dropped. Epic items are sets. Glory Zakai top. Epic set requires level 120. Glory Zakai bottom. Pants. Similarly, epic grade equipment. This is better than the reward dropped by the leader. Much better. That man isn't wearing this outfit, probably because the level is too low. If he had worn these at that time, even with dark magic, I might not be able to kill him either. More importantly, this pendant feels very strange, cannot measure rarity. All other information is also unknown. Undetermined pendants. Video. Here shouldn't be. Sealed within is an ancient god, huh? He reached out and tapped the pendant. Fortunately, I made that phone call in time. The dungeon has been sealed off. This way, no one will find out. He gazes at that giant eye. An Junhao stares at the massive deity statue in front of him. Could there be an ancient god sealed here? A red light flashes by. The devil screams in terror. Cut all connections! Absolutely cannot reveal our position. The little monsters scatter in all directions. The demon wipes away the cold sweat. That brat nearly shortened my lifespan by 10 years. How did he perceive me? City Hospital. The investigator on the hospital bed saying it was that young warrior who saved us. The enemy saw him and immediately opened a rift in the underground city to escape. That warrior, I can feel he is stronger than me. Su Yiyan stood by the bedside, looking at the unconscious companion. Has someone defeated? Even opponents that such a level of warrior couldn't handle? The man in suit pushed his glasses and asked. For now, we can only assume so, Su Yiyan replied. I guess that mysterious person is an unregistered hunter. Last night at the scene, apart from ordinary magical traces, nothing suspicious was found. He sighed and said, If there really are such big shots living in the city, just knowing his existence, it makes one feel at ease. The investigators silently listened. In their eyes, Don't get involved, the man in a suit said in blue. This might be a stretch. Su Yiyan turned and asked, What is it? The man in a suit looked out the window and said, Last night at the scene, there was mysterious dark face, right? Of course, the enemy are the monsters from the underground city. He pushed his glasses and continued to say, I'm not sure, but that mysterious person, is there any possibility, is also a mutant? He used destructive magic, yet no civilians were injured. You think that mysterious person? Maybe. The investigator interrupted and said, Too absurd. This is a bit fanciful, isn't it? Su Yiyan falls into deep thought. Is it really this exaggerated? An Junha walked towards the main gate, by 2 guards. Block it. He smiled and said, Hello, I'm here for an advanced mission. Can we go in? Far away, the golden building with a red tail is working hard. An Junhao looked forward. Is that the luminous holy sanctuary? He walked alone into the depths of the valley. Above the rocks, Yin Daoying is staring at his back. A few days ago, Central Exchange. An Junhao walked into the building. The staff guided him and said, Wang boss, your guest has arrived. Mr. Wang walked forward and shook hands while saying, Welcome, I heard you want to buy 4-story staircase bean paste house set. The staff stared at Yin Daoying. Higher rank. Looks handsome, and he's quite generous with his spending. If I could transfer this man to my department, I wouldn't have to worry about sales anymore. Wang boss continued. Luckily, a regular customer is planning to sell a 4th-rank gated dodecanese set. Although it only has the upper and lower parts, Yin Daoying asked, That regular customer is now where? Wang boss smiled back to Yin and said, He said he's very busy today, so he can't come over. 5th level advancement. upper and lower parts, all key information, they've matched up. Although I still need to confirm with my own eyes. But that set of equipment, it is very likely to be the master's relic. Ye Daoying looked at Boss Wang and said, "Please tell me." "Hold on a moment. Why is everything going so smoothly?" Wang Boss said with a serious expression. Just as Junhao said he wanted to sell the set, it was like magic. Someone came knocking immediately. Wang Boss replied, "I think he has something to do in Lincheng. I will call to confirm again." The staff member stood outside the door and asked, "Has that customer left?" Boss Wang sat behind the desk. "Yes, I sent him away." The staff member approached and asked, "What happened, boss?" Old Boss covered his forehead and said, "I just spilled my food. Junhao's background. His parents are just ordinary awakened ones. They disappeared when he was young. He has always lived alone. He awakened at 18. Now he only has this level of skill." The staff member responded in surprise. "I thought he was some kind of monster genius, but it's completely the opposite. As expected, he looks utterly ordinary. Now everything aligns with me." The staff member looked at the data in his hand. "But the things he sold to us, where did you come from again?" Wang Boss frowned in response. "This is the problem. Although he has a good relationship with He Yushi, but Hao never subsidized him. That guest doesn't like hearing these things." The staff asked seriously, "Wait a moment, you don't really think those things were stolen by him, right?" Wang Boss said through gritted teeth, "I'm not sure if they are tainted, but I doubt the source is legitimate. In any case, he picked the wrong target to provoke this time. If he sold trash to people like that, the next scene would definitely be interesting." The employee crossed his arms and smiled. "Correct. This area only has a few sites. 4 streets. Advanced warrior. Guide the eagle to hide behind the rocks. Stare at the back figure in the distance. Truly can't believe it. Such a young person managed to stop the invasion of the underground city. Even my master lost to the boss, but he succeeded. The information shows that person might be in possession of master's relics. If he is not that expert, then he could be a hidden powerhouse. Either way, we need to be cautious." Junhao walked towards the giant golden temple. His steps were steady. In front of the temple gates, the guards were battling monsters fiercely. A shaking man swings a short knife, slashes the approaching monster. Another person releases an ice spell, pushes back the enemy. Junhao stands in the light, is replacing his equipment. It seems he needs to change his armor. Exactly, can be from equipment. Guess his strength. The light fades away. Junhao put on a plain-colored long robe. Guide the eagle to hide behind the rock. That outfit is too ordinary, just like a student who hasn't graduated. For his age, he indeed easily disguises himself as a new recruit to blend into the crowd. If he truly wants to hide his presence, even I might be overlooked. But if we get too close, he will detect me, guiding the eagle. Look ahead. In case of emergencies, use skills to mark him first. Active skill, mystical mark. Mark targets within the perceptual range, and don't let him detect it. Just mark his usual clothes. Junhao walked deeper into the dungeon, footsteps scattered with the remains of monsters. Guide eagle to look at the ground full of corpses. Junhao passes through the stone door. However, why come to such a place? Only the dungeon of the fish monster. Bright light explodes at the center of the battlefield. Monsters scatter and flee in all directions. Guide the eagle to look at the distant and say, "It's that one." What exactly is it? Claim to be unbreakable, absolute defense, even monsters are avoiding him. That guy really isn't normal. Junhao walked into the grand hall. The ground was scattered with the remains of monsters. That's the final boss. Is he really planning to take on a one-on-one fight? Junhao stopped in front of the huge stone statue. The location is good, and there's no one else around. Perfect. Top-tier hunter. Why bother to seek out such a low-level boss? Guiding eagle to look at the statue. That statue is strange, completely motionless. The statue's forehead broke out in cold sweat in front of Junhao. Combat strength, not less. Junhao walked alone down the corridor. As mentioned in the mission guide, completely different. Guide the eagle to hide behind the door. Show a surprised expression. He just did that. Walk right past it. Junhao stopped and said, "Since it's like this, let's do it here." A huge golden armor hovering in midair, emitting dazzling light. He quietly stared at the enormous creature in front of him. Huge armored monster, golden light flashed in his eyes. Suddenly turned around, ran towards the distance. Junhao looked up at the fleeing figure. Why is he running away? Could that be a rare hidden boss? How did he know about it? Guided eagle widened its eyes. God of all attribute. Magic level 1, advanced task. Enter the radiant holy temple, obtain task item, sacred emblem, defeat hidden boss, seraphim. Junhao scratched his ear and said, "Oh, this is an S-rank mission. A common first-grade advanced hunter. How could they possibly clear it?" The armored warrior trembled all over. It's over for him. Assigned to this underground dungeon, there's nowhere to run anyway. A bolt of lightning streaked across the sky. A giant armor plunged downward from the air, generating intense shockwaves. Junhao raised his head to look at the sky, extended his right index finger towards the target. Purple thunder gathered at his fingertips, instantly pierced through the clouds. Active skill, dark magic thunder descends. Huge lightning bolts like divine magic engulfing the entire area. Lightning converge above ancient ruins. An Junhao raised his head to look up. Giant copper tree opened its eyes in the void. Intense light columns pierced through heaven and earth, blasting towards the insignificant figure. Massive smoke dust rose up to the sky, splashing everywhere in midair. The buildings in the distance exploded. The structure crumbled with a loud crash. Thick smoke obscured the sky. Guiding Sakura Beach looked around in fear as they said to those on land, "That is flame so terrifying that one has never seen before. Truly frightening. This strength even surpasses that of my master. Could he be the legendary 8th rank hunter?" An Junhao stood in the wilderness. Anyway, before the transfer just now, I couldn't gain any more experience points. Now, getting so much experience, it feels like a waste. He looked at his hand. Calculate evil. Since he got the badge, let's go back and turn in the mission first. Sacred badge. Epic consumable item. Suppress permanent. Gain 8 points. Permanent effect doubled. An Junhao took out a teleport scroll. Time to go back. Guiding Sakura urgently called out. "Hold on, please wait a moment." An Junhao stared at the other party. When was he there? Did he see everything? Must have seen it all, huh? Guiding Sakura left a cold sweat. Oh no, he looks very angry. Guiding Sakura waved her hand and said, "Please calm down first. Listen to my explanation." 4 ears alarm sounded. Guiding Sakura to look in the distance said, "That's an alarm." An Junhao raised the pen in his hand. A blue light surrounded him. He said coldly, "Let's talk outside." Guiding Sakura responded, "As ordered. Strong wind lifts fallen leaves." An Junhao asked while standing under the tree, "So, have you been following me all along?" Guiding Sakura raised her hands and responded, "Sorry, I had no malice. I just wanted to personally confirm some things." He looked at An Junhao and continued, "You look too young until I saw it with my own eyes that I could believe it. Even like my master, such powerful can only be achieved through sacrificing life. Come temporarily seal the underground city. Outbreak. Backstabber. Once disappeared quietly. Recently they are using humans. Sacrifice. Attempting to break the seal, I once tried to stop him, but failed." An Junhao fell into deep thought. The other party is a 4th transformation hunter. If he doesn't actively show up, I wouldn't even notice. This shows my level is too low. Otherwise, this will eventually be exposed. What should I do? Guide Sakura to look at the young boy in front of her. Why has he suddenly stopped speaking? Is it for self-preservation? Do you want to kill me and cover your tracks? Guide Sakura kneeled down and said, "Please help me avenge my master. As repayment, I am willing to do anything." An Junhao stared at him. This guy is of high rank, and he doesn't belong to any fixed team. Establish good relations with him. He should be useful in the future. An Junhao looked at Yin Duangying and said, "First of all, I hope what happened today only the two of us know." Yin Duangying replied, "You don't need to worry so much. I will never say another word about it, although I can sense something from him. Feeling the powerful dark force, but he used that power to prevent the underground city from exploding and to protect this city. Honest people deserve respect. Anyway, I don't have anywhere else to go either. Stay in Goldfish City for now." An Junhao walked ahead. Suddenly, his pocket vibrated. An Junhao answered the phone and asked, "Miss Ruzhen Chi." Ruzhen was on the phone. She asked Junhao, "Where are you now?" An Junhao replied, "I'm coming out to handle something, just about to go back. What happened?" Chi Yuzhen said, "I have something to tell you. You've been back and you came to see me." An Junhao put down his phone. What does he want to talk about? Su Yiyan sat on the sofa looking at Chi Yuzhen and asked, "How is it going?" Chi Yuzhen looked, spoke to the front. His voice sounded quite normal. He said he would come back very soon. Su Yiyan pushed his glasses up. A student who had just woken up a few days ago. Surprisingly, it has already reached. If we hadn't investigated beforehand, we might have completely missed him. Chi Ruzhen calmly replied, "Junhao is a kind and diligent child. I trust him." Su Yiyan shook his head. "I'm not saying he's a bad person, just some suspicious points. Must be verified." He stared at the screen, continuing to say, "The current situation is like this. We will continue to track it, hoping we can closely monitor the case." White-haired elder, looking at Chuan Shi's projection, understood. Is there anything else? Su Yiyan pushed up his glasses, asked the crowd, "What do you think?" When it appeared in Jingzhou, those 2 destructive spells, is it possible that a mutant did it? The meeting room fell into silence. The elder stared at Su Yiyan. "Su Yiyan, you yourself are a mutant. How can you even propose such an assumption? Mutants use dark logical speech. It must come with a price. The greater the power, the heavier the price. Their vitality will be reduced, even losing their sanity, completely turning into monsters. Even a tiny price will also lead to irreparable consequences." Su Yiyuan pushed up his glasses and said, "Sovereign-level mutants. It is fundamentally impossible." The armored man laughed loudly and responded, "You are really getting old, surprisingly coming from your mouth. Hearing the term kingdom-level mutant. If you're this nostalgic, just go write a fairy tale." Su Yiyan crossed his arms. "I'm just considering all possibilities. As for whether you accept it, that's your business." The armored man sneered and said, "You do know how to say nice words. Fact is, you haven't found anything. If there really are sovereign-class mutants, I am willing to stake my life on it," the elder said with a serious expression. "The headquarters has dispatched an investigation team to the Jinyu family. Please cooperate fully. If necessary, they will take over all of your current positions." Additionally, the headquarters rejected your request for shadow support. Su Yiyan frowned and asked, "Don't you trust me?" The elder responded calmly, "This isn't about trust. You'll understand in the future." Su Yiyan sat at the desk. The masked woman pushed the door open and said, "The boss has new intelligence. Ask about the light of the holy words at parting, under the destructive spell attack. Fortunately, there were no casualties. Your true expression shows concern. If I remember correctly, An Jinhao said he was going there to train." Su Yiyan pushed up his glasses. Response report. "Correct. It's the radiant holy word." Su Yiyan stared ahead. Things were becoming increasingly interesting. Anburl City. A huge blue barrier enveloped the entire city. Discussions filled with unease could be heard among the crowd. The passerby asked, "Could that barrier really hold up?" A passerby asked. "What exactly happened to the radiant holy word?" Another passerby said. "I almost got scared to death just now." An Junhao stood among the crowd. Guiding voice hugged his arms with a serious expression, staring ahead. A guard responded, "Don't worry. This is the highest grade barrier capable of blocking dark energy. The city should be safe." Pedestrian A said, "They said we're fine." Pedestrian B asked, "What's going on now?" An Junhao looked at the chaotic street. "I must have overused my strength just now. They've raised the alert level. It seems we can't leave before the lockdown is lifted. I can't go back now." Lightning flashed in the sky above the city. Huge cracks spread through the void. A vicious demon emerged from the darkness, overlooking the buildings below. "This is indeed the human world. The barrier, huh? Why would you need such useless things?" "Humans are weak, so they like to hide in their shells." Countless little devils emerged from the black fog, screamed, a piercing scream, followed by the giant demon took a step forward and said, "Alas, such things cannot stop us." Immense force tore through the void. The demon lord descended upon the city center. Swinging the giant sword, he laughed maniacally, giving you all a little surprise. The monster of the city followed closely behind, flocking into the streets like a tide. Lightning flashed in the sky. The huge teleportation array expanded again. Something was off. Passers-by stopped walking on the street, looking fearfully towards the sky. Someone pointed upwards and asked, "What is that?" A pink monster rushes into the crowd. Crazy, swinging light show. Passers-by scream in terror. "There's a monster! Save me!" Scream after scream echoes. The street falls into chaos. How did the monster get through the barrier? No. The barrier is clearly intact. How did they get in? The crowd fell into chaos. "Hey, don't push me! Be careful with that sword, it hurts!" The guide Ying beside him said, "Sir, I think this is another extremely powerful underground city eruption." An Jinhao looked at the scene in front of him. "Could it be the same as yesterday in Jingzhou? Are we going in?" An Junho asked in surprise. "Who could stop something like that?" Yongdae Yong responded with a neutral expression. "This, right?" He couldn't possibly not know about this. Why ask such a question? "Do not take it literally. That's not a question, but a test of me." Indigo moved his shoulders and said, "Got it. Please don't worry. Leave it to me." An Junha stood there in shock. Originally, he was planning to make a move because there were too many people around. So just now, he hesitated. But this is good too. He looked at Yong and said, "Wishing you good luck." The intense explosion erupted among the crowd. Passers-by screamed in terror, scattering in all directions, emitting a mournful cry of agony. An Junhao and Young Indo paused their steps, observing the chaos before them. Great demon. Emerging from the smoke and ash, emitting a piercing laugh. A hunter. Drawing back the longbow, aimed at the monster, shouted loudly, "Die!" Sword user turned into flowing light to hit the target. The demon chose a sound without prior notice. The soldier swung his sword towards the monster. The monster let out a mournful and painful cry. It was instantly repelled. Passers-by exclaimed in shock, "Impossible! They couldn't even touch him." Devil moves through the battlefield. The action was too fast to capture. Fresh blood gradually falls to the ground. The huge devil monster strolls with heavy steps, looking at the scene in front of him and says, "So boring. I thought at least a few powerful humans will be caught in the chaos." The crowd falls into turmoil, panicking and running in all directions. A passerby screams, "He's coming this way! Run fast! It's a monster! Save me!" The monster swung its power at shadows, enveloped those seeking help. The evil monster roared and said, "You're all trash. Not one of you is an exception." He swung his giant claw downward. A blue light flashed past. Indao Ying blocked in front, caught the heavy attack. The monster roared. Guide Ying blocked in front and said, "I know, you don't need to protect me, but I can't let you do that, no matter what. Let these guys disturb you. Hand this over to me, please." An Jinhao responded helplessly, "Can't you call me master? It sounds rather awkward." Young Indo stared at the monster, sneered coldly. "Ha! Looks like it's here." He suddenly swung his right fist, heavily striking the monster. The monster was pushed back by the powerful impact. "What is this?" Yindao Ying dived down from high above, with both feet heavy, from his monster spear tip. He turned into a blurred shadow, instantly sliced open the monster's body. Blue light woven into a net. "Will the giant monster?" Tightly wrapped, Yingdao Ying lowered his posture, both hands manipulating energy threads. The monster is unable to move due to being restrained. A passing man exclaimed in surprise, "What grade and profession is that guy? The monster can't even move at all. Those skills are too unusual. Definitely a highly advanced hidden occupation. Guide Ying stands in the midst of flames. Golden pupils convey meaning. Name, Guide Ying. Level 137. Profession, 5-star hidden profession. Math and martial arts master. An Junhao's face was filled with admiration. He's simply too powerful. So damn handsome. Not bad either. The leader of the monsters has been eliminated. Begin counterattack. Arrows fell like rain, piercing through the remaining monsters. Leading Young walks forward. My lord, is there anything else I can do? An Junho raises his thumb. No, your performance just now was perfect. Leading Young looks at his back. That level of powerhouse turned out to be so polite. The man in suit looked at the distant teenager. How strong is that kid really? Could he be the heir of a business clan? Bringing bodyguards here to farm experience, right? An Junhao extended a light ball and said, Right, this is the boss's dropped item. Please accept it. The surrounding crowd let out exclamations of surprise. That was the orange item, right? Although I can't use it, but at least it's worth several 10,000 crystals. A woman excitedly said, Next time, make sure to bring it along. An Junhao, looking at the skill book in his hand. Agile type skill book, Death Chaser, afterwards. Give it to Yunyul then. He looked at another piece of equipment. There's also this mushroom shield. Sell it later would be better. The clergyman stepped forward and said, Can the two of you chat for a moment? Dongming Che bowed deeply and said, Thank you very much. Saved Wubin City. He straightened up to introduce himself. I am the mayor of Wenbi City, Che Dongming. This is our first meeting. You two shouldn't be locals, right? An Junhao replied calmly. No, we just came to handle some business. But we ended up getting trapped here. Otherwise, who would stay in such a remote place? A purple light flashed in An Junhao's eyes. Che Dongming was drenched in cold sweat. It turns out it's because we triggered the alarm. I understand, Che Dongming said with a bow. I've caused you trouble. I'm really sorry. An Junhao responded with bare hands. It's all right. This isn't your fault. In the end, it's because of me. Che Dongming looked at his attendant and said, Bring over the flying scroll I bought before. As compensation for him, the attendant responded, Your command. Flying scroll in Wubei City. Such a small place, it's not easy to obtain. That's an item for quick movement, one-time use item. Dongming continued. Lately, everything has been unstable everywhere. Could you two please stay in Wenbi City for a few more days? As you can see, the defensive strength here is very weak. An Junha responded, I still have my own matters to handle. It might be hard to accept. I only have 3 days left. Must complete the career change task. An Junhao asked coldly, Do I look idle to you? Che Dongming wiped away cold sweat and replied, I'm sorry, it's because we didn't think it through well enough. The attendant ran up and said, The mayor has brought out the scroll. Dongming grabbed both sides. The gift on the ground said, This is the Central Exchange, VIP black card. Please accept this farewell gift. An Junha took the box. Heard about the black card? Only given to a few people. There are special privileges, too. No wonder he could buy the flying scroll. An Junhao looked at Che Dongming and said, Dongming wiped his sweat. Thank heaven. He accepted it. I'm still worried he'll explode in anger. He looked at An Junhao and asked, If Wenbi City faces danger again, will we still be able to ask for your help? An Junhao nodded slightly in response. No problem. I'll intervene if there's time. Che Dongming shouted excitedly. He accepted the request. Wenbi City is now safe. The crowd around erupted in cheers. A beam of light shooting towards the sky. An Junhao urgently hesitated in midair. Approaching the entrance of the hall, many people were gathered there. Zhu Duizhen pointed towards the front and said, Yongxi came out. Zhao Chengxun snorted coldly. Yongxi stopped in his steps, looked towards the distant sky. 2 beams of light rushed past quickly. Zhao Chengxun walked forward and asked, What's wrong with you? Yongxi looked at the horizon. The person that flew past just now looks like it's Junha. Zhao Chengxun said disdainfully, You must be seeing things wrong. That poverty ray bullet, how could I possibly afford a flying scroll? And An Junha has just awakened not long ago. There's no reason for him to enter the advanced hall. Hasey said with a cold gaze. Dare to say another bad word about An Junha? I will definitely not let you off. Damn it, why must we always protect that waste? Where exactly am I inferior to him? Zhu Duzi walked forward and said, Forget it. Your second-tier advanced task. What reward did I get? Zhao Chengxun looked at his companion and said, My is A grade, just missed S rank. Ba Jinhao responded, Grade A is great too. Grade S mostly relies on luck. Temporarily gave a thumbs up and said, At your age, completing secondary advancement is enough to make top universities compete for you. Plus, the Grade A task, there's nothing to complain about. Zhu Duizhen turns to ask, And you? Yongxi. Yongxi lowered his head without speaking. Everyone looked at him. Zhu Duizhen said, Your complexion doesn't look too good. Don't tell me you only got C rank, even lower evaluations. Zhao Chengxun looked down on them. Is even Hou Yuxi a genius today? The level of the promotion task directly determines attribute bonuses, as well as unlockable skills, he said with a hint of cold laughter. Don't worry, He Yuxi. As long as you work hard, you can still make up for the difference. At most, in the future, I'll take you along. If he really only gets a C grade, he would be thrown far behind me. What a stern look Huo Yunxi gave. Responded with a blank expression. You got an A-rank mission. Just be content with yourself. Then I got an S-rank mission. Why aren't you happy? What? People around widened their eyes, showing disbelief. Zhu Duijun asked doubtfully. Then why didn't you say it earlier? Huo Yuxi replied. Just felt that this mission was a bit different from others. My mission is unlocking a profession hidden from everyone's view. Oh, Zhang Chengsun's face is full of, incredibly said. This is impossible. Awakened profession. It's already set. Have never heard of advancing like this. It can still appear as a hidden occupation. Did you do something wrong? He Yongxi stands at the center of the advanced magic circle. Current occupation, artillery archer detected. Vanguard medal. Current occupation, artillery archer upgrade to. Premium advanced mission in order to upgrade. After profession. Premium. Shall we start leveling up? He Yunxi looked at the screen in front of him and asked, What's going on here? Why did this window pop up suddenly? Originally, this is the effect of the Vanguard badge. The item An Junhao gave me actually has such a function. At that time, when he handed the badge to me, he seemed so confident. Don't you think he anticipated this beforehand? He Yuxi raised his arm and said, Thank you for the gift. He Yuxi finished explaining and said, That's how things are. Many creases didn't ask about it. Yunxi, how can you not think before acting? Just click confirm directly. Cho Chengsun shouted loudly. I have never heard of that. This kind of profession. What if it's a system error? Cho's wrong and it will ruin your life. He Yuxi responded coldly. It's my own life anyway. You don't need to worry about it. Zhao Chengsun said urgently. I'm only doing this for your own good. How could you? Ba Jin loudly and said, It's so enviable, actually advancing to a 5-star hidden occupation. Many genuinely happy in agreement. I also want one like Junhao, this childhood friend. Cho Seong-hoon gritted his teeth. These guys. I must personally track down that thing called the badge. No matter what price I pay, I will definitely find him. An Junha stretched out his hand. Palm, a golden badge appeared. Epic consumable item, holy metal. The metal emits strong light, blend into his chest. S-rank mission completion rate, 100%. Advancement in profession begins. An Ji-ho feels the power. Attribute values significantly increased. Gained a new passive skill, fully mastering black magic. What does that mean exactly? Su Yiyan stared at the distant door. It was the warrior she had seen before. Why would he be with An Jinhao? He seemed to be guarding the door. An Jinhao went through the information, showed you're so young, yet you've already reached the 4th transformation level. Even on a national scale, he could be considered one of the top elites. But the staff said that warrior was always extremely respectful, following An Jinhao. Absolutely cannot underestimate An Jinhao. Su Yiyan looked to the side and said, Mrs. Chirujin, the next steps will be left to you. Mrs. Chirujin responded, Don't worry. I'll find An Jinhao to talk things through. Clearly, I don't believe An Jinhao would become our enemy. An Jinhao was walking on the road and said to Ye Daoying beside him, Haha, so that means, right? I knew it. A call came from behind me. Junho? An Jinho stopped his steps. Surprised, he looked forward and said, Miss Chi Yujin. Right, you just called me. Do you have something to chat about? Chirujin nodded in response. That thing, I have some knowledge and would like to ask you something. Yin Daoying slightly bowed and said, My lord, I will wait for you nearby. Chi Yujin widened her eyes. My lord? An Jinhao said with a smile, Don't mind him, he's just joking around. Chi Yujin looked towards An Jinhao and asked, Jinning, have you completed your first advancement? Jinhao looked surprised. I didn't plan to hide it, but I didn't expect it to be discovered so quickly. However, Sister Yujin has always taken good care of me. She is one of the few who I can trust. An Jinhao responded, Yes, I finished it. The situation is a bit complicated. I don't want to tell anyone else. Chi Rujin continued to say, There's still one more thing, although it sounds a bit strange, but I need to confirm something. Have you also been invaded by dark forces? An Jinhao asked in return. Why are you asking this? Could the system have revealed something? Chi Rujin continued. Recently, there have been frequent outbreaks in the underground dungeon. Many people are influenced by dark forces. They are gradually turning into new mutants. An Jinhao smiled and replied, I see. Please rest assured, I am not a mutant. That kind of trouble, closely monitored by the government. I don't want to get involved in that. Chi Yujin took out a black golden stone. Then, please accept a simple test. Just by injecting your power into this stone, it can show the darkness within you. An Jinhao looked at the stone in front of him. Is he hesitating? Could it be that? An Jinhao stretched out his hand and said, This is my first time doing this, so I'm a bit nervous. The moment my fingertips touched the stone, blue electric sparks flashed past. It suddenly exploded during the test. It instantly exploded during magic detection! Anjinhao shouted in surprise. Chi Rujin looked. This shard shouted, "Cracked! It cracked!" Anjinhao scratched his head and asked, "Miss Yujin, what just happened?" Su Yijin looked at the table and said, "This is during the magic detection test. It's extremely sensitive to dark forces. The government uses it to identify mutants. When power is injected, the stone should have just vibrated. As the researcher tried to contain the energy, the golden stone violently trembled, emitting dense blue lightning. Chi Ruzhen stared at the sound. The vibration grew stronger. The concentration of dark forces is higher. He furrowed his brow, staring intently at the broken jade stone. But if it were to explode directly like this... Then Anjunhao looked at the broken jade stone. He scratched his head and said, "Miss Yujin, I know you just awakened and applied for advanced training. It is indeed a bit strange, but we've known each other for so long. Can't you at least slightly trust me?" Chi Ruzhen looks at this young man in front of him and found it to be true. Jianying has lost both parents since he was young. Awakened much later than others, in this situation, could still maintain such a positive attitude. Already quite impressive. He looks, replying to Anjunho, "Of course, I believe you, but I must tell you what happened today. Report truthfully to the higher-ups. I hope you can understand." Anjunha responded, "Of course, I completely understand." Count Ye truly handed over an item, said, showing Anjunhao the glowing item. Asked Miss Yejun, "This is Qi." Yejun smiled and said, "It's a gift. Congratulations. You've completed your first advancement." Anjunhao clenched his fist, looking at the woman in front of him. "Although, I say this, but who knows how the government will react. In the worst-case scenario, I can only leave Ginyu City." Anjunhao offered an item of equipment, saying, "This is the loot from my previous mission. Please accept it. Sister Jin, thank you for taking care of me these years." Golden light blooming in the palm, that's called Holy Intense Belt. Real-time grade quality, possessing powerful healing and defensive attributes. Chi Ru truly showed a shocked expression. Real-time equipment now has instant activation. Jade Tree, critical moment, able to save many people. I cannot accept such a precious thing. Anjunho smiled and responded, "This is really just mission reward. Please accept it. My friend is still waiting for me. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave first." He waved his hand, turned, and left. Chi Yujen held the equipment in shock, standing there staring at his back. A soft voice lingered. "Oh." An Junhao and Yin Dao Ying walked away side by side. Chi Yu truly stared at the backs of the two figures. He actually treated real-time grade equipment like trash and casually gave it to someone else. What kind of person is An Junhao? Hunter's office. Chi Rujen stood in front of the desk. Su Yiyan sat opposite him. Su Yiyan looked at the broken crystal and said, "This kind of thing, I've never heard of it. If one day we have to oppose An Jinhao, what should we do then?" Su Yiyan placed his hands on the table and said, "That's it for now. Let's stop here." Chi Rujen asked with a look of malevolence, "Let's stop here? What do you mean by that?" Su Yiyan pushed up his glasses. An Junhao's strength has already exceeded our handling range. Instead of continuing to probe and anger him, why not think of a way to deal with Arlon? The masked woman asked on the side. "Then how do we report back to headquarters?" Su Yan responded coldly. "Do not report. Cease all investigations on An Jinhao. Block access to all of our information." Chi Yujen raised her hand and said, "I agree." Su Yan looked at the data. An Jinhao is still quite young. He has no background. This is the best way to protect him. If he doesn't want to expose the secret, we'll investigate another warrior. Anyway, we're short on manpower. An additional strong person benefits us. "An Jinhao's home," Ye Daoying said. "Sir, you don't seem happy." An Jinhao leaned against the sofa and replied, "Chi Yujen sent a message saying that higher-ups have halted our investigation." Ye Daoying asked, "Isn't that good news?" An Jinhao lay on the sofa and responded, "Surely it is, but I'm now very worried about the upgrade issue. Every time I clear the dungeon, it always causes a huge commotion. This time, the government has also taken notice of me. If not for what I saw with my own eyes, forced level increase really makes one very headache-inducing." Yin Daoying looked at the teenager in front of him. This guy, as expected, different from the rest. Even worries are ordinary, not in the same dimension. Every time passing through the dungeon, will it attract attention? If I didn't hear it with my own ears, I can hardly imagine what that concept is. Ye Daoying suggested, "If you try going to those underground cities that the government hasn't officially approved," An Junhao asked doubtfully. "Hey, the night outside is deep, trees sway in the mist." Ye Daoying looked afar and said, "As far as I know, abnormal fluctuations have appeared worldwide, giving birth to new underground cities. Among them, some exceeded government's management ability. The rest were occupied by secret organizations." An Junhao asked, "It sounds feasible. Do you know about places like this?" Ye Daoying responded, "Currently aware of 2. If you need more, I can investigate further." An Junhao said with a smile. "Perfect. Then please do that for me. Act under the identity of Ye Daoying. It's indeed much more convenient than as a student. Go to the exchange tomorrow, sell the loot. Let's rest for today. As long as I can upgrade with dark magic, I won't fall behind anyone. The hotel building is brightly lit. Yin Daoying stepped into the elevator. Away from my lord's place. It's already evening. Stay at the hotel for tonight. Find a place to live tomorrow. A man in a suit walked in and said, Mr. Yin Daoying, please, this way. Yin Daoying stopped and asked, Who are you? The man in a suit sat down in the rest area and said, I am Zhang Huilie. It's the newly appointed Jingzhou mayor. Thank you for your help during the outbreak in the underground city. Provided help. Are you planning to stay in Jingzhou for a long time? Yin Daoying responded. Yes, I have this plan. Zhang Huilang smiled and said, That's great. Jingzhou warmly welcomes you. A strong warrior like you. Zhang Huilang handed out a red credential card. This is a special hunter license issued by the city. It has extremely high authority. If there's anything you need, please tell us immediately. We will fully support you. Yin Daoying took the documents, examined them carefully. I hear that other cities also want to recruit him, but he refused all of them. Jingzhou may just be a small place, but it cannot be looked down upon. Yin Daoying put away the credentials, replied, Thank you. Since that's the case, I'll take it. Zhang Huiye held his hand and said, No need to be polite. It's nothing. Yin Daoying looked at the item in his hand. I'll keep it first. That adult will eventually use it. Zhang Huiliang smiled. He doesn't understand Jinhao at all. Thanks to Lady Yan Yan's suggestion, we were able to recruit this 4th-rank powerhouse. Zhang Huili looked at the building and asked, Are you looking for a place to stay? I won't trouble you with that. Personally, I will handle everything for you, Ye Daoying responded. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Jinhao lay on the bed, checking his phone. Everyone in the class awakened at 16 years old must reach the first advanced stage before being able to participate in the subsequent admission exam. Before we knew it, just a few days had passed. I already surpassed them. Junhao looked at his phone screen. That guy named Li Daiying was spreading my information online again. He's really a persistent follower. Could it be that he's been watching my account all along? Do I play games or not? What does that matter to him? A new message popped up on the screen. Qi Ruzhen directly replied to Li Daiying. Tell him to care more about himself. The other party immediately deleted the comment. Junhao looked at the screen and laughed loudly. Truly worthy of Miss Qi Ruzhen, never fails to disappoint. He continued flipping through the pages. His expression turned serious. The news was filled with reports of the underground city eruption. Civilian casualties were severe. Even the safe zone fell. Mutants have completely lost control. Could the end of the world really be coming? The group chat interface keeps popping up with messages. Similar things happened here before. Someone eliminated all the monsters. Is there really such a master in Jingzhou City? Feels much safer now. If I could find him, I must consider him my big brother. Jinhao looks at his phone screen. When I first heard the world had changed, I didn't pay much attention then. Never did I think it would be this severe. After finally living a stable life, I can't let anything ruin it. Visions of the devil appeared in his mind. Too bad I couldn't completely get rid of that guy back then. Jinhao put away his phone and walked into the room. The distant devil sneezed. Why do I suddenly feel a cold sweat? Central Exchange. Young Xie La stood in the corridor. There's still Band-Aid on his face. The staff member approached and asked, Had you come to work with your injury not fully healed? Yang Shuila responded somewhat uncomfortably. Actually, it's not that serious. I'm fine now. The staff member playfully said with his hands on his hips, Although you say so, deep down, you really want to go see Jinhao right away. Yang Shuila urgently rebutted, It's not like that at all. The staff sighed helplessly. What a pity. You actually fancy someone like Jinhao, that little thief? Yang Shuila shouted loudly. Show some respect, mocked coldly. Boss Wang has already sent people to investigate Jinhao. Only awakened at 18 years old, and he's just trash with a 1-heart rank. His parents are both dead. He absolutely couldn't rely on himself to get high-rank equipment. Even 4th transformation powerhouses come personally to look for gear. If it wasn't stolen, what else could it be? A black shadow flashed by. Instantly, the staff fell to the ground in shock. Junhao walked forward and said, Sorry, hearing you so serious talking nonsense, I couldn't help myself. The staff angrily shouted, Jinhao, you dare to use an attack spell in the stock exchange? I'm calling security. Yang Shuila's expression anxiously advised, You better leave quickly. Security will be here soon. Don't worry about me. The top management of the exchange are not easy to deal with. Ordinary people can't win against them. If they catch you, you'll be in big trouble. Rapid footsteps approached. Boss Wang asked coldly, Who dared do such a thing? Dare to act at the central exchange? Cause trouble? Junha looked at the person across from him and asked, It's your investigation into my past. Are you still thinking of me as a thief? Old boss responded coldly, Are you framing me? You know it best in your own heart. You have no qualification to interrogate me. Security guard rushed forward quickly. Junho took out a golden card, asked in front of everyone, Central Exchange Center, is this how you treat customers? Junha raised the black card in his hand. Old boss widened his eyes and said, That's the VIP black card from the Exchange Center. Impossible. It's definitely fake. Looks like Mayor Che Dongming's gift is indeed substantial. Old boss stared fixedly at that card. Where did he get it from? Jinhao put away the black card and said, "Didn't you investigate me already? Then do your own research." The employee's expression anxiously asked, "Mr. Wang, what should we do now?" Mr. Wang took out his phone and said, "Stare at him. I'm going to make a phone call." The crowd asked, "What's happening?" The guard stopped everyone, responding, "Don't know. Anyway, don't let anyone in," Dongming asked. "Never said you're checking the card I gave to Jinhao." "What's really going on, Wang?" Boss responded with a heavy sweat. "No, not like that. Just a small misunderstanding. Mayor Che's father was the founder of the exchange. How did Junha manage to connect with him?" Car Dongming sternly said, "Misunderstanding. I went to great lengths just to maintain a good relationship with that person. You actually went to provoke him." Wang Boss explained into the phone, "No, not like that. Please don't worry. I will handle it properly." "So, you really angered him? What are you thinking? Fool. Stay there and wait for me. I'll be right over." Old Boss Wang hung up the phone with a disconnect sound. What exactly is their relationship to make him angry like this? All right, I must contact that adult gentleman and tell him I found the fighting suit. As long as that adult is present, personally handles it, even the mayor wouldn't dare to push things too far. Central Exchange Center. Isn't it later already? Junha sits side by side with Yang Shuila. The urgent footsteps came from afar. Guide the sound as it runs shouted, "Sir, please wait a moment." Jinha turned around and asked, "How did the two of you end up here?" Yang Shuila looked surprised at the person who came over. "Isn't that Mayor Che Dongming? And the last time, that four-legged hunter?" "Junha, do you know them?" Che Dongming in the guide voice, "Stop in your tracks." His expression shows some panic. The staff looks terrified. Why is he looking at me like that? He looks at the greedy Boss Wang beside him. Question the way, "Boss, what's wrong with you?" Wang Boss replied listlessly, "We're finished. Totally finished." Dongming Kar wiped sweat and asked, "Mr. Junha's, don't you really want to accept the apology?" Junha quietly replied, "No. I don't think they will genuinely reflect on it. Would not also because a phrase, 'Sorry, just change it.'" Dongming pointed towards the distance, scolded, "You two, hurry up and pack your things. Get out of here. Get out now." The staff member said with a shocked expression, "Boss, we—" Boss Wang swung his fist and roared, "It's all because you messed it up. That's why it turned out this way." The employee was knocked to the ground, screaming in pain. Dongming held his head and said, "Security, immediately drag them out." Jinha stood aside, watching the chaotic scene in the VIP reception room. Che Dongming was seated before everyone. Yang Shui lowered her head to pour tea. Jinha, at least his impression of the appraisal office had not fully triggered. Yang Shuiwa stared at Junha. Mr. Junha, truly impressive. So young, yet able to interact with such high-profile figures. So, speaking so calmly. Che Dongming smiled and said, "Miss Shuila, during this time you've also worked hard. The Appraisal Institute will support you. Keep going strong." Yang Shuila blushing and responded, "Xie, thank you. I will do my best." Junha scratched his head and said, "Mayor, sir, I'm truly sorry for making you specially come all the way here." Car Dong understood this, replied, "Don't say that. Your affairs are my affairs. If not for the two of you, Wenjia City would really be in danger." Jinha lowered his head, examining the documents in his hand. Dongming asked, "What rare items did you see just now? Do you like any of them?" Junhao raised his finger and said, "Actually, I've been looking for something. Have you heard of End Season 1? Dongming's face showed confusion. One season beside the guidance because of repeating, saying, "End of the world." And Junhao smiled and explained, "I've only seen it online, so just out of curiosity." Back to the room and in Junhao's hand, emitting blue light, skill book. And Junhao looked at the skill book in his hand. "If you really give me this book, it is the Mage in battle, skill to temporarily restore magical power. I don't know, would transform into, what kind of dark magic?" He activated soul extraction. His hands pressed on the pages. Passive skills merged with darkness, absorbed remnants of the apocalypse, transformed into various attributes. And Junhao fell into deep thought. Remnants of the apocalypse, huh? Never heard of it in the system. There's no description either. Completely have no idea where to look for it. Anyway, not urgent. And Junhao yawned. Che Dongming stood on the street and said, "This trip is too rushed. Please come to Wenbi City next time. We will treat you well." Che Dongming tore open the flight scroll. A beam of golden light rushed towards the clouds. And Junhao looked at the guide voice and said, "Let's go have dinner together." The guide voice walked on the road and replied to the guide, "Then go to where I live and eat." And Junhao walked into the villa and asked, "Wow, the city gave this place to you." Guide sound walk in front and return guide. "They say breaking a taboo will bring awakeners above 4 stages receive preferential treatment. If you like, just move in and stay. I can find another place." And Junhao sat on the sofa and said, "No need for that. I'll save up to buy the one next door." The guiding voice asked, "If you're short on money, I have plenty here." And Junhao leaned back on the sofa, asking from the other end, "Why should I spend your money? Shouldn't it be enough to buy a villa?" But if I waste it now, it will be troublesome when I need it urgently later. Anyway, there's no rush to buy a house. There's no need to be so hasty. Raise the cup and drink it all in one go. This feeling is just amazing, the guiding voice said. This villa has a dedicated chef. I've already called him over. He should be here soon. And Junhao responded to the guide. That's really convenient. The guiding voice's phone rang, answered the call and said, Hello, Mayor Zhang Huiliye? At the other end of the call came a voice. Guiding voice. Sir, I'm sorry to disturb you, but the last investigation team was looking into the events inside the room. I hope you can understand. The guiding voice silently listened. This time's investigation will probably also affect. My lord, you should ask about his intentions first. The guiding voice said into the phone. I'm afraid I don't have time today. Zhang Huili smiled and replied, It's not urgent. A few days later, when you are free, you can contact us then. Guide voice hung up the phone. Just throw the phone on the table. An Junho asked investigation team, right? I don't know, what kind of people are these? It's as if there really is some mysterious powerhouse. Appear in Wenbei City. This small detail still matters. In the conference room, someone asked out loud, Has anyone here personally seen that mysterious powerhouse? Su Yiyan replied, No one has. The investigator didn't ask further. Why do people say that it was the mysterious person who saved Jing Yu? Room. Su Yiyuan explained, because during the last outbreak in the underground city suddenly stopped, and the mutant causing the outbreak was also resolved. The investigator analyzed the extent of damage from each underground castle outbreak very differently. Before thoroughly investigating each case, it was impossible to determine whether a powerful figure had intervened. In fact, during the other two outbreaks, all entities of monarch level or above have appeared. So that mysterious person, what were you doing at that time? Su Yiyan protected An Junha, rewrote all relevant data. Therefore, he is bearing all the pressure alone. Zhang Huili pushed open the door and said, I just contacted Master Ying Ying Tang. He said he doesn't have time today. The investigator sighed. Those free hunters who have gone out of control truly give one a headache. After losing the guild, roaming around everywhere, except pretending to be busy, they know nothing else. Forget it. I will take full control of this investigation. You handle other tasks. Underworld dungeon, dark whispering woods. The investigator crushed dry branches underfoot. Moving forward, the guard turned alert and asked questionedly, Who is there? The investigator walked towards the entrance. Raise your hand and say, Hello, it's me. The guard nodded in response. Ah, it's from the investigation team. The investigator looked at the portal and said, I want to go in for an investigation. The guard pointed behind and said, Please enter. The investigator passed through the portal, walking on the deserted land. Although it's not my first time here, but the extent of the destruction still shocks me. What kind of power could destroy the underground city to this extent? Even now, the remaining dark forces are still pure and powerful. In the face of such things, that mysterious powerhouse is no more than an ant. I really look forward to it. He reaches out his hand, fingertips entwined with black aura. A huge monster emerges from the shadows. Multiple fair maidens, flashing chest glories. Investigators spread their arms, laughing wildly. This is the aura of a monarch. The entire area is permeated by power, and these forces will all belong to me. The moonlight shrouded Yin Daoying's villa. An Junhao stared at his phone screen. He said, Do not initiate the attack first. Don't show off. The system panel suddenly popped up. Detected, end of days record. An Junhao sensed some force was connecting with him. Just focus your mind and you can see the connection point. Lock his position. He stood up from the sofa, put on his coat. Yin Daoying walked over and asked. An Junhao went to the door and said, Just going out for a moment. While I'm not here, finish that match. Don't let my ranking drop. An Junhao ran quickly towards the distance. Yin Daoying looked at her phone with a puzzled expression. 2 luxury cars on the highway. Gee. An Junhao stared at his phone's navigation and said, According to the navigation display, near the Yinchen Cemetery. Wait, he is moving? Entrance to the underground city of Yinchen Cemetery. A giant, many-eyed monster emerges. The guard draws his sword in confrontation. The system emits a piercing alarm. Warning, Shadow Graveyard, discovery of unknown monster. The guard looked ahead and asked, What is that? The giant monster roared. The figure on its back pleaded, I can't move, for the love of God. The highway is completely blocked. An Junhao walks towards the checkpoint. The soldier reaches out to stop him and says, It's very dangerous ahead. You cannot pass through. The driver said, Sir, the way ahead is blocked. I can't drive any further. An Junhao pushed open the car door and said, It doesn't matter. I'll get out here. He stood by the roadside looking into the distance, paused for a moment. A sad plea for help came from afar. Save! Help me! A huge monster is tightly holding the hanged worker. 3 awakeners are in front, facing off with the monster. Su Yiyan looks at the scene before her, asked in shock, This? What really happened here? Desolate rock area, smoke and dust spread everywhere. Chiyu really knelt down on the ground, both hands gathered faint light. Hidden in Su Yiyan's chest. Su Yiyan's face turned pale, blood seeped from the corner of her mouth, emitting a painful moan. Chiyuza really said it. Fortunately, An Jiaohao provided the equipment. Shortened spell casting time. I managed to arrive in time, but it was still very risky. Even Su Yiyan, such a strong person, couldn't stop that monster. Chi Yujen asked, Where's the monster? Su Yiyan responded, He went towards the city direction. Mayor Chang Huiliang already requested support from Yin Daoying. I don't know what he... Can we make it in time? Yin Daoying's strength, about my age, he can't handle it alone. But if it's Yin Daoying behind this? The person standing there, perhaps we still have a last hope. Giant monster emerged from the ground, amid a deafening roar. An Junhao raised his head to look up. Is this the end of Season 1? The body size is truly astonishing. An Junhao observed calmly. Will we use the black magic again before resolving it first? Giant monster looks down from above. An Junhao stands in the ruins, facing that oppressive feeling. An Junhao sidestepped to the side, avoid the fatal strike. The monster roared, stirring the air with force, raising clouds of dust. The monster swings its giant hand again, red eyes staring intently at him. The offensive becomes even more fierce. An Junhao wields his strength. Purple light explodes instantly, the monster exclaimed in shock. What kind of power is this? It's crazy. The system panel appeared. Detected remnants of the end of the world. Should I absorb it? An Junhao looked at the screen. Are you telling me now? Originally, it had to be close to trigger absorption. He clicked to confirm. Light poured into his body. All attributes increased by 100. An Junhao looked at the values in front of him. Even a 3-star profession went from level 0 to 3rd transformation. There shouldn't be so many points either. And besides, the attributes. Seems like it absorbed something else as well. There's something extra in my head. Strange interface guide led forward and asked, Sir, what happened just now? An Junhao did not answer. He pressed his forehead, feeling the changes in my body. Purple pupils suddenly contract. A giant monster emerged from the smoke and dust, roared with ear-splitting fury. The vicious beast opened its blood-stained mouth, staring intently at An Junhao in front of him. An Junhao walks through the shattered void. Countless memory fragments pass by around him, reflecting vicious monsters and those sealed battlefields. The giant armored monster roars. This is all the fate I must face? All attributes increased by 100 points. An Junhao pointed behind him and said, I encountered a monster, so I'll go first. Yun Daoying looked at the scattered debris on the ground. It seems they were all taken care of. The mayor mentioned a huge magic fluctuation. Could it be that thing? I can't feel any magic now. How did it defeat that monster? An Junhao said with a smile. The timing is perfect. The remaining cleanup work, I leave it to you, Yin Daoying responded respectfully. As ordered, An Junhao instantly disappeared from the spot. That's fast. Such speed. It's almost on par with agile professions, Yin Daoying shouted loudly. My lord, aren't you a mage? This level of explosive power, surely I underestimated, my lord. An Junhao transformed into an extreme wing, charged towards the distant building, Golden Temple Prison. Su Yiyan looked at the prisoner and said, It's him. He has already confessed everything. He accidentally encountered that monster in the underground city and tried to manipulate dark power, to claim it for himself. He used being a scum as an excuse. He entered the underground city multiple times, absorbing the monster's power, until the monster loses control. Zhang Huili excitedly said, Praise heaven and earth. This means that mysterious powerhouse is really guarding the Golden Jade Temple. Su Yiyan nodded and said, Yes. Zhang Huili asked, Mr. Daoying, have you seen that mysterious person with your own eyes? Yin Daoying looked towards the distance and responded, I had the privilege of meeting him once. Zhang Huili asked with a face full of anticipation, When? Can you recommend one for me? As long as that powerhouse wishes to stay at the Golden Jade Temple, I am prepared to satisfy all of his requirements. Yin Daoying shook his head and said, That adult gentleman is naturally humble and very dislikes drawing attention to himself. You might as well give up on this idea. Fortunately, we had a preliminary discussion. Push all the blame onto the mysterious powerhouse. Without any evidence, they have no way to launch an investigation into this smear campaign. Zhang Huili supported his forehead and said, That's really regrettable. Definitely many people are lining up to curry favor with him. Ye Daoying looked at everyone and said, That person who has acquaintances in Jingzhou City is already keeping an eye on that place. You don't need to worry about it. But he doesn't want to be disturbed. Su Yiyan supported his glasses. The people he knows, as expected. Truly a weak humiliation. Thoughts of the past. So, that mysterious powerhouse is older than Anjiaho? Anjiaho's home. Anjiaho stands in the bathroom. What is known as the Endless Mirror turns out to be a dead dungeon. Residue left by the Demon King. Images flashing in my mind are fragments of memories from the Demon King's life. I never intended to be a Demon King. What can this thing be used for, etc.? Think carefully, this might be useful. As darkness power accumulates, the dungeon will gradually grow stronger. If we cannot stop it, the dungeon erupts. The world will be utterly destroyed. Our world still lacks a complete hunter cultivation system. World advancement expert very scarce. Distribution of hunter professions seems also not reasonable. This feeling is truly unpleasant. If this continues, humanity will only lead to extinction. become monsters. The sole survivor of the world. It has no meaning. It happened in other worlds as well. The underground city erupted, but fortunately some places successfully prevented the disaster. If I could obtain useful information, perhaps sharing it with the outside world would be helpful. I must carefully consider how to proceed. This knowledge far exceeds the common sense of this world. I don't know what consequences it will bring. The phone screen lit up. He Yangxi called. An Jinhao picked up the call and smiled. Hey, what's up? Make you so happy? System interface popped up in front of me. S-rank mission completion rate 100%. Occupation advanced to shadow recognizer. He Yangxi said, holding her phone. I'll have dinner tonight. You have to come. An Jinhao smiled and replied, I've never turned down an invitation before. Free dinner. He Yangxi walked down the stairs and said, Okay. He Yangxi put away her phone, moved forward towards the waiting crowd. Bai Jinghao waved the ceremonial cannon and said, Congratulations to both of you. Successfully completed second-level advancement. The surrounding crowd was cheering. That age, they transferred jobs? Such an impressive background. Zhao Chengshun looked at He Yingxi and said, Yun Shi, I booked the best restaurant in town. Let's celebrate together tonight. He Yingxi responded expressionlessly. Sorry, I already have plans for tonight. You guys go play. I'll treat everyone to dinner tomorrow night. Zhao Chengshun asked in pursuit. You just completed the mission so tiredly. Can't you rest for a bit? Can't we push the plan back a little? Hu Yunxi turned neither her head nor went back away. No can do. That's very important. Hu Yunxi walked alone on the street. His back exuded coldness. Cho Sum-hoon gritted his teeth and said, Cut. After completing the second advancement, he began to be different. Ju Du-jun responded, Don't say that. He Yunji is not that kind of person. There must be a reason. Zhao Chengshun snorted coldly. The footsteps that had been chasing him non-stop. Don't you guys feel tired at all? Ju Duo-jun showed a surprised expression. Zhao Chengshun continued to say, He has just passed the S-rank advanced mission and awakened a completely new hidden profession, the gap between us and him. Ju Du-jun said in person, Yes, she will eventually. He might take a completely different path from ours. Night fell. The restaurants by the streets were brightly lit. An Junhao looked at the abundant delicacies on the table. Ho Yanxi said, This store is cheap although, but the taste is really great. Eat quickly. An Junha continued to speak contentedly. Tell you the truth, being with you always gives me something to eat. The best food in the city. Hu Yunxi looks at An Junha and says, You gave me the Vanguard medal. Helped me a great deal. An Junha took a bite of the grilled meat. Is it? So that badge. You've really activated it for you. New hidden job class? The Demon King mentioned this in his memory. The awakened profession in this world is not the optimal form. Could it be that the emblem is one of the methods to upgrade professions? Hu Yueshi continued to ask, Right? Where did you actually come from, getting that badge? An Jinhao replied, I'm not quite sure either. Hoi Yum-hei said with his tone, I really wish it was something you could buy. Then you could have it. And for the rest of the team, others, everyone prepare one. He is still the same. Whenever good things happen, always first, thought of me. Ho Yuan-yi said seriously, It doesn't matter. The badge is mine, and I will figure it out. You must never give up upgrading. This world is very dangerous. Having an extra way to protect yourself is always good. If you can find one that suits you, maybe, you might also unlock a new profession. An Junhao put down his chopsticks and said, Upgrading is really so painful. You might as well protect me from now on. He Yunxi smiled and responded, Stop with the jokes already. I'm serious. He Yunxi suddenly furrowed her brow. Her face turned pale. An Junhei asked hurriedly, What's wrong? He Yunxi, covering the shoulders, responded, Nothing. Just in missions. Got a bit hurt. Zheng Ho asked in pursuit, What? Didn't you go for treatment? He Yunxi shook, shaking his head and said, Tried it out, but that was an S-rank mission. Boss's attack very powerful. Just rest for a while, and it'll be fine. An Junhao looks at this S-rank advanced mission. Is it really that brutal? An Junhao sits in front of the dining table. His phone suddenly vibrates violently. He picks up the phone to answer. The earpiece sounded. A man's voice was heard. You are An Junha? An Junha furrowed his brow and asked, Who are you? This guy talks. You're really unladylike, rude, the man responded coldly over the phone. You don't need to know who I am, where your badge came from. Yunxi came over to ask sarcastically, What's going on? An Junhao looked at his phone and said, There's a guy with a really bad attitude inquiring about the origin of my badge. Yunxi showed a surprised expression. How would he know about this matter? I clearly haven't told anyone. An Junhao bit a piece of meat, said, Ignore him, eat your meat. The phone on the table suddenly vibrated. The screen showed a hidden number. An Junhao picked up the phone. He heard a man's roar through the speaker. You dare hang up on me? Take advantage while I'm still in a good mood. Listen carefully to me. An Junhao had no expression on his face. Ye-shi is right here. I have to remain silent now. He directly pressed the end call button. An Junhao walked out of the dining room, rubbing his stomach, and said, I ate so full. Yunxi turned to ask, You're sure you don't need me to send you off? An Junhao smiled in response. I'm fine, that wasn't an important call. The night grew deeper, he waved and said, goodbye. An Junhao got home, pushed open the door. An Junhao pushed open the door, yawned as he walked into the room. He suddenly froze in his tracks, pupils. Due to shock, it was exaggerated. The originally tidy room now appears in a mess. Books and miscellaneous items scattered everywhere. An Junhao looked at the chaos before him. Heavy footsteps sounded coming from the shadows. A man's hand holding playing with the document said, see who's back now, Mr. An Junha? An Junha looked at the man in front of him. You're the little brat who called just now, the man said with a cold laugh. Correct, I warned you when I was being polite. You should have listened obediently. If you can answer properly now, you won't have to suffer this anymore. An Junhao asked, who sent this clown here? The man taunted. You're just a trash that just woke up. Didn't school teach you that? Encounter a stronger person and maintain respect. The assassin leaped down from midair. Swing the sharp blade downward. An Junha sidestepped to dodge the attack. Strike with a heavy punch on time. Punches accurately hit the opponent's abdomen. The powerful impact force knocking the assassin directly flying. An Junhao straightens his collar. A man shouted in terror, what the hell is going on? An Junhao smiled and replied, this question should be asked to you. If you want to ask a strong person, it's best to learn manners first. The man clenched his teeth. Impossible. Information is clearly stated, just one mind. An Junhao tightened his fist. Punch attribute increased by 100 points. Reaction and speed improved so much. Even without using magic, he could handle sudden situations. The man looked at what was in front of him. He was clearly a mage, yet he solved a 3-star assassin with just his bare hands and nothing else. An Junhao coldly gazed ahead. He stood beside the fallen assassin. Blood splattered on the doorframe behind him. The man was drenched in sweat. He recoiled in fear. The situation is bad. We must retreat immediately. The man climbed over the fence, trying to escape from the scene. An Junhao reached out, accurately catching the opponent's ankle. The man lost his balance, hanging upside down in midair. An Junhao sat on the fence. He said, clean up your mess first. Don't think about going anywhere. An Junhao looked at the ruins scattered everywhere, pointing at the broken bookshelf and said, you broke my bookshelf again. Pay for it. The man fell to the ground. Pointing at the valuables beside him, he begged, my lord, I have already given you everything as compensation. An Junhao, with both hands, repay, then explain clearly who sent you here. The man trembled and said, it's Mr. Zhao Chengxin from the Purification Master Guild. He heard that you have a very special badge. Order us to investigate. An Junhao fell into deep thought. Cho Sung-chun is that frequently following young he running around everywhere as the mage, right? Indeed so. Since you guys played tricks first, I don't have to be polite either. I just happen to have a black magic. It hasn't been tested yet. Truly perfect timing. He opened the spellbook in his hand, activated the active skill, Soul Hijack, consumed willpower, took over the target's mind, turning it into a powerful clone. The man before him let out a scream, his eyes ignited with purple flames, his body completely lost control. An Junhao looked at the empty street. Since Yun Young didn't appear at all, I've already sent people to find. An Junhao, if he doesn't cooperate, let him experience it. Living is worse than death. The warrior asked hesitantly, what if Yunxi discovers what, then? Zhao Chengxun gritted his teeth and replied, I'm not worried about that at all. Don't you want to see him eat the badge alone? The warrior said, drenched in cold sweat. Of course not. Just this promotion task this time is nothing like what you said at all. You promised to let him see your true skills, and you also said you would release the boss to scare him. Then you would descend like a hero, rescue him. Ha Yun-hee swings her sword at the monster. Zhao Chengxun looks at the battlefield. He didn't expect that after Ha Yun-hee got injured, she could still handle the boss alone. The warrior is startled by the shadow behind him, suddenly turns around. He looks at An Junho and says, "Je, why do you always?" This appeared silently without a sound. "What I want, did you get it?" An Junha responded with a cold smile. "So Yungxi is because of you. You must be hurt, right?" Zhao Chengxun grabbed An Junhao's face, daring to meddle in my affairs. "Are you crazy?" Fresh blood instantly gushed out. A blade of light crossed over horizontally. They didn't have time. Reaction. The body was simultaneously slashed by a sharp blade. An Junhao stretched out both hands. Deadly choked two accomplices by the neck. "Lift them into the air," An Junhao said coldly. "Injury. Yonyi person. All deserve to die. I won't let you easily escape." The black aura like a sharp blade erupting, instantly piercing through both of their bodies. Screams echoed around them. An Junhao released black and red energy, said as he held the enemy's throat. "Since you said that living is worse than death, that's good. Experience it well, this feeling. Energy. Instantly devour the enemy. Sky-splitting red light. Annihilate it completely." An Junhao stood in the center of the open space, staring at the remains before him. He had already turned to ashes, leaving no trace behind. To destroy the body and erase all signs, indeed, a good plan. But this time it was really very dangerous. Where I am staying now, just an ordinary community, it's very difficult to stop someone of high rank. Awakened one intrude. I am not afraid. But I can't be available 24 hours a day. All stay at home. Originally planned to base it on the memories of the Demon King, organize some important information, but there's still no time to start. Fortunately, it hasn't started showing yet. If those invaders see it, things will get troublesome. He stood up and stretched his shoulders. Better to clean this place up first. Make it tidy. Stay at Sakura's place for now. He is a fourth hunter. The place to stay is a high-end villa. The security system should be quite reliable. Yin Dao. Ying angrily shouted. Someone actually dared to attack you? Simply sick of living. I will investigate immediately, expose the mastermind behind the scenes. An Junhao sat on the sofa and said, That matter isn't urgent. I have something else I want to ask you. Do you know a trustworthy alchemist? Ye Doying asked doubtfully. What do you need the alchemist for? An Junhao replied. The technique has to be good, and it must be reliable. Preferably, a simple person with straightforward interpersonal relationships. Ye Daoying thought and said, I do indeed know a skilled person, but he is currently in a large guild. An Junhao shook his head and said, That won't work then. In the memories I absorbed, the Demon King had killed some top-tier alchemists. The potions they made far exceeded this world's standards. I'm not sure about the specific details. I need to copy these scattered formulas and submit a replica to an expert. But if the other party belongs to a major guild, the risk of betrayal is too great. After today's incident, I must be more careful. I can't attract any more flies. An Junhao looked at Ye Daoying and said, If there's an opportunity, please help me keep an eye out. I'll also inquire on my end. Reliable alchemist? I just happen to know someone like that, An Junhao asked. Really? An Junhei held the phone, listening to the voice on the other end of the call, and said to Young-hee, The brother of the priest in my team is a very powerful alchemist. He wanted to join our guild before, but because he didn't get along with Cho Sung-hoon, so he couldn't come in. If you're interested, I can introduce you to him. Is it him again? Just thinking about Yun-shi and him together makes me feel uncomfortable. But I've already given him a lesson for now. He should not dare to cause trouble again. He asked Wan-hee. So, why did you seek out an alchemist? An Junho replied. I found several formulas at home, wanting to find someone to help look over them. And they were found at home? I've been doing a big cleaning at home lately, said to Yun-young. I see. Wait for me a moment. I'll go ask him now, An Junha responded. Okay. An Junha walked into the room and said, Hello, I'm An Junhao. Silver Hai stretched out his hand, replied, Nice to meet you. I'm Silver Hai Yi. Can I take a look at the formula? Ju Duojung kicked at the grass outside the door. Evil. I also wanted to greet Junhao. Idiot brother, you actually kicked me out? Yun-young responds helplessly. That's because you were too noisy. Gyohei looks at the paper in his hand. The material is ordinary, but the method is unfamiliar. This is quite complex. Do you know exactly what this potion is for? An Junhao looked at the other and said, I heard that he can double the amount of experience points gained. Silver Sea trembled as he shouted in shock. What? Ordinary experience potion can only boost by at most 40%, and the price is extremely expensive. If it could really double, that would mean a 1-star or 2-star profession. Can't level up quickly, right? An Junhao replied. Probably. I'm not really sure either. That's why I came to find you, Silver Sea looked over. This, An Junhao said. Hold on a moment. I'll go upstairs to test it out. He walked towards the door, shouting loudly. Ju Dujen, get Junho something to drink. An Junho sat on the sofa in the restroom. Across from him sat Ju Dujen, along with Hanul and Yunyol. Ju Dujen was laughing and chatting. There was a sudden loud noise from the stairs. The three turned their heads simultaneously to look. Ju Dujen looked up and asked, What's happening upstairs? What's going on up there? Let's go. We should check it out. He led the way up the stairs. An Junhao followed closely behind. Just arrived in the corridor, a shadow flew past before my eyes. Ju Dujen gasped. That's my brother's experimental. Slime blue night monster, crazy flea. At the end of the corridor, suddenly flames burst out. Ju Dujen looked at An Junhao and called out, Brother. In the laboratory, Yamaichi excitedly waved his arms and shouted loudly. It worked! The value reached 100%. He pointed at the energy jumping on his fingertips. It's 100% genuine. Ju Duijen and He Yushi, looking puzzled at the front, Yin Hai stepped forward, turned to An Junhao and shouted, Junhao Yin! Hai pressed down on An Junhao's shoulder. I tested the potion I made myself. Experience points surprisingly doubled. An Junhao smiled and responded, That's good then. It seems other formulas work too. Silver Sea #1 shouted at the beginning, Fireball tree. Flames erupted everywhere in the laboratory. Juduza complained from behind. You never let anyone in who don't matter. It's said for safety, but now they have destroyed it themselves. Juduza and He Yushi exclaimed in unison, 100% experience potion? An Junhao looked at the two of them, forced a smile. Silver Sea raised a finger. Indicate to the two people. Be quiet and say it, you two. Shut up a little, would be heard by others. Juduzhan loudly rebutted. Clearly your voice is the loudest. Silver Sea turned his head around and looked at An Junhao. What are you going to do about it? Are you planning to sell him off? That could fetch a huge sum of money. The world now is very dangerous. To become stronger, many people are willing to pay any price. An Junhao fell into deep thought. The phone in his pocket suddenly rang with a bell sound. An Jinhao took out the phone and said, "Wait, I just received a message." A notice was posted in the class group. Starting next Monday, all third-year students will have to participate in dungeon hunting near the city. The classmates are complaining in the group chat. Everyone is crazy leveling up now. Even experience potions are hard to come by. An Jinhao looks at his phone screen, deep in thought. He looked at the person beside him and said, "Before selling the experience potion, I will let my good friends use it first." Ju Dujen came over to ask, "Does that mean I'm on your list of friends?" An Jinhao nodded and said, "Of course." Ju Dujen excitedly said, "Brother, I and Yunki will be your bodyguards. If you need us, just speak up." He pushed Yinhai aside, pushed his glasses and asked, "What are you saying exactly?" Once this prop is revealed, it's bound to cause a huge commotion. The benefits that followed were astonishing. Pests like Zhao Chengshun would definitely follow closely. I must first establish my own power base, boost the strength of those around me. If anyone dares to have evil thoughts in the future, I will make them never dare to try again. An Junhao raised his finger and said, "Right, your team's crazy warrior is Ba Jinhao, right? Give him a bottle of experience potion too." Yunyol and Zhou Duzhong show surprised expressions. "Really? Great," Zhou Duzhong continued to say. He was still worried yesterday about not being able to enter the same university as us. An Junha hugged his arms tightly. Baek Jinho's strength is very strong, and he has a close relationship with Yunhee. He would be a reliable ally. Yunhaye walked forward and asked, "Mr. Junhao, do you have more formulas?" An Junhao replied, "Yes, I do indeed know." Yinhai looked at the list in his hand. He frowned, continuing to say, "But half of the materials on this I haven't even heard of them, although I recognize 2 of them. But with my current level, I still can't allocate them." An Junha looked at Yinhai. As expected, formula from another world. Not that simple. However, as long as I can make a few types, should be enough, and Yunshi said excitedly, "Since we're talking about this, wait for the first batch of materials to be finished. Let's call Junho. Let's all go hunting together." He grabbed onto the corner of Junho's clothes. "Junho, you should come too." Junho looked helpless. "Why? I'm going to be dragged in as well?" And Yunyong looks at Anjun Haohao and says, Anjun Haohao says to Yunyong, "Don't worry. The union has already issued a notice. Only their organized team is allowed to hunt." Yin Hai says, "Let's calculate the time. If we want enough potion brewing for a week, should..." Anjun Ha urgently said with empty hands, "No." And Yun Hee interrupted saying, "Then see you next Monday. Everyone has worked hard. Anyway, my older brother, don't rush me." Anjun Hao dragged his face. Nobody was listening to me anyway. Monday. Anjun Hao stood by the soccer field speaking into his phone. "We're here," Hae-young responded. "Wait for us there. We'll be right back." The bus passes down the street. The short-haired girl looked out the window and asked, "Isn't that Anjun Ho from our class?" "Clearly visible," the boy responded. "We're going hunting today. He's not going to come anymore. Even if he comes here, can only run errands for everyone." Another boy laughed loudly and said, "We don't need that waste. He enters the underground dungeon for 1 second would die. Why talk about that trash? There's time better spent sleeping a bit more. After all, who knows how long we'll have to wait at the destination." Anjun Ha stood by the roadside, looking down at his phone with his head lowered, letting the bus pass by freely. Pass by from the side. At the entrance of the underground city, people are continuously flooding in. Purple fissure. The boy looked ahead and said, "There are too many people here." Turning to look at Chi Rujin and asked her, "Miss Rujin, when will it be our turn?" Chi Rujin replied, "We still have to wait about 2 hours." The girl asked in surprise. "Ah, it's going to take that long," Chi Rujin explained. "How would he be here? He suits coming with Yu Shi." An Jinhao and Yu Shi walking side by side heading towards the glowing portal. The first one shouted loudly, "Next group in, please." The youth pointed towards the front, asked to wait a moment. "Why doesn't he have to queue up? Could just go in directly." Chi Yujin responded calmly. "Slaughter the Lions Guild took An Junho away. They might go directly there. The deep layers of the underground city, there are fewer people there. So what's the situation in you guys?" "Completely different," the short-haired youth angrily shouted. "Why does he go to the deeper layers? We'll be killed by those trash monsters." "That failure named An Junho. What is it that I don't have? I also want to go with the Purification Lion. And Hyun Hee as well." A tall figure approached and asked, "Just answer, I have one thing. The Hyun Hee you mentioned, is that Hyun Hee right? It's on the national top new talent list. Is it ranked 5th, Yeon-young?" The young man with short hair responded in shock. Is? Yes. Jung Sung-won walked at the very front, saying as he looked at the scene in front of him, "Very well, it seems I found the right place. Let's go." The first one shouted loudly, "Entry is allowed." The boy looked at their backs. "What are you doing? What attitude is that?" The girl next to her asked in surprise, "Do you really not know who they are? They are just like Hyun Hee, and both appear on the national new talent ranking list. That's 4th place. Zhang Jia, 3rd place. Zhang Zhilong, 2nd place. Ganzhou Garden.